gorgeous cars. Their first driver's title was won in 1952 by Alberto Ascari. Considered one of F1's most dominant and best-loved champions, he drove the iconic Ferrari 500 and defended his title the year after. It was Juan Manuel Fangio in his Ferrari 250 who secured the team's next driver's title in 1956. Remember, he was world champion 5 times with 4 different teams. Mike Hawthorne, Phil Hill and John Surtees also won titles for Ferrari in the 50s and 60s. And the cars back then were beautiful. And they even sounded great, didn't they? Anyway, Ferrari went 11 years without winning a title until Niki Lauda won in 1975 in the iconic 312T. Throughout much of the 80s and 90s, though, Ferrari looked like they'd never go all the way again. Le Professeur Alain Prost came pretty close in 1990, but lost out to his bitter rival and former teammate at McLaren, Ayrton Senna. It was only when John Todt recruited a swathe of staff from outside of Italy, including Michael Schumacher, that the glory days returned 21 years after their last driver's title. The turn of the century saw the prancing horse sprint to an unprecedented 5 consecutive championship doubles. And after Schumacher left, Kimi Raikkonen reclaimed the driver's title immediately. But despite employing 1,500 people, the Iceman remains the last Ferrari world champion. So, 16 constructors' titles, 7 more than McLaren, and 15 drivers' titles, 4 more than, again, McLaren. Ferrari are truly Formula One's top team. Forza Ferrari.
Good morning, welcome along to Sunday Weekend Sports Breakfast here on talkSPORT. Shebahn Aherne alongside former Chelsea and Republic of Ireland striker Tony Cascarino. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good to see you. For the second time in a week, Liverpool suffered defeat in the last minute.
It's a winner for Chelsea. Chelsea 2, Liverpool 1, and it's Esteban who has won it.
Absolute scenes at the bridge. We'll get stuck into it. Cass was there to see Esteban slide one in at the back post as Chelsea ended their Premier League run with a brilliant victory over Liverpool. Elsewhere, Manchester United picked up a much-needed victory at home to Sunderland.
It's Manchester United 2, Sunderland 0, and the full-time whistle blows as you come to us on Ruben Amorim's 50th game as Manchester United manager. He celebrates with 3 points.
United! Does that ease the pressure on Ruben Amorim? Maybe for a moment. It's Liverpool next after the international break. I've got good vibes about that. And both North London sides picked up wins as well. Spurs defeated Leeds 2-1, while Arsenal are sitting pretty at the top following their victory over West Ham.
Little shimmy, Saka steps up, and of course he scores, sends Areola the wrong way. I think there's a question I need to ask Nuno afterwards. Arsenal 2, West Ham 0.
We'll discuss all of yesterday's football, look ahead to what's happening today. We've got 5 in the Premier League, big games for the Old Firm and the Old Firm derby as Ipswich host Norwich live on talkSPORT 2. Liverpool fans, good morning. Are you concerned your title bid has been derailed? 03717 223344. It's the Weekend Sports Breakfast here on talkSPORT. Morning. Oh, Cass. What a day.
I know. Very long day yesterday after getting up very early for the breakfast show, then staying in London and then getting to London Bridge, where most things were not actually working, as in the tube was shut off towards Wimbledon, which is on the line of Fulham Broadway. That station was shut on the day of a game.
By the way, getting to the bridge is hard work.
Well, it is when Fulham Broadway's shut, and then I walked to Sloane Square, which is probably about 2 mile away down the King's Road, to get back, and got there, and that was shut.
Have you heard of bike limo?
Yes.
You should get bike limo.
Yeah.
Because you're rich, you can afford it. You should. Honestly, game changer. But that's the thing. You were on your feet at 3 o'clock yesterday morning, walking 3 miles to get his taxi because his road was all closed off because of the...
Oh, that was a long day. Yeah, I walked a hell of a long way. It was good for the fitness.
Yeah, get the steps
walking
up. Yeah. Why were we talking off air there about handiwork? Why did that come up?
DIY.
Yeah.
Well, because you fixed my earpiece, and then I said you'd done it so easily.
Yeah.
And
then it came up. Why are so women good at things?
Like intricate things. But then I said to you at home, my wife Jo, she DIY. She's much better than me, and she does most things.
Yeah.
And it's become more common.
And my sister's girlfriend, I say, is the man in our house. She does all the things we need to get done. And we were saying how it's changed. Like, women are so handy now.
It's great. I'm quite happy to put my feet out, watch the football. My missus is really good at all the intricate things at home. Like, if the lights, when you get sometimes a disconnection or something.
She can do all that.
Well, she gets on with it. Yeah, her dad was a really good DIY man. So she learnt a lot from him. But she's way better than me. My dad was great at DIY, but he never, ever let me do anything. He always done it himself.
But you went on to be a footballer, so that's good.
Well, yeah, I don't know.
Kind of worked out for him both ways. Handy. And his son got him some cash.
Yeah, but it's an interesting one because there's so many women now that are very capable and it literally have...
Yeah, you can let us know. Is it the woman in your house who now does the handyman stuff? The handy woman, 81089. I love that.
Yeah, we've got to change the word, haven't we?
Absolutely.
I think the
handy person.
Yeah, handy person.
PC brigade. Who's the handy person in your house? No. I wish I had a little trade like a joinery.
Does your other Jamie, does he?
Useless.
What, in everything? Or just...
Useless. Everything is just too much of an issue for him. In fact, yesterday, maybe I'm being a little bit harsh there. He did put together my daughter's new desk chair, but it was like 3 screws and away you go kind of thing. But his brother's a joiner, so he's my guy to go to. Like, I wish you had a little bit of Owen in you. Like that, just mix up the brothers.
It always helps when there's a family member. I have a brother-in-law that's very, very capable, and he'll jump in when necessary. If a shower breaks down or something, or Tone, and he'll go, "Yeah, I'll be round with my toolbox."
Yes, I know. And then they turn off the phone. They know why you're getting in touch, don't they? Oh, brilliant. By the way, let's get stuck into what was a magnificent day in the Premier League yesterday. Here's how it sounded on the talkSPORT network.
Comes back in on his left foot, draws the ball down low to the left and produces a brilliant finish, and Tottenham Hotspur become the first team to beat Leeds United in a league game at Ellen Road in over a year.
Oh, we might have a penalty here. We have got a penalty here. Little shimmy, Saka steps up and of course he scores. Arsenal go top of the table at a canter. Arsenal 2, West Ham 0.
He's going to have to drag this team, Nuno, kicking and screaming, I think, away from the relegation zone.
Manchester United 2, Sunderland 0. Goals in back-to-back games for Benjamin Šeško. Ruben Amorim's 50th game as Manchester United manager. He celebrates with 3 points.
We tried to make it sound good for the listeners, but I've watched under 6 games with more quality in the second half. I promise you that.
It's a winner for Chelsea. Chelsea 2, Liverpool 1, and it's Esteban who has won it. Deep into stoppage time here. It's now 3 defeats in a row for Liverpool. At the start of the season, Liverpool love stoppage time, and at the moment it must be making them sick. They slip to second in the Premier League table.
Juicy wee day. Yes, Leeds were beaten by Spurs 2-1 at Ellen Road live on talkSPORT. Arsenal beat West Ham 2-0. Man United, hello. 2-0 win over Sunderland. And Chelsea beating Liverpool at the death at the 5:30 game 2-1. Ahead of you today, 4 at 2 p.m. and Brentford versus Manchester City is at 4:30 this afternoon. Cash, you were at the bridge yesterday.
Yeah.
Wow. What a game.
Yes, the game was paced. The game was played in a relentless pace. That's how it was, so quick and dynamic. More so Chelsea, and Arne Slot commented about that he felt they were slightly second best in the, dealing with the frantic pace of that match, and a lot of concerns for Liverpool. And I've touched on this before, haven't I, Shebahn, in the last few weeks, that I had real big concerns about Liverpool. I give praise to Chelsea first because I thought Caicedo in midfield was phenomenal, alongside Fernandes, and just, Chelsea ended up, the two centre-halves get injured. That's 5 centre-halves they've got out now. Yeah. There was big moments. Esteval, the goal, the winner, he came on. He's got such quick feet. A lot of good things from Chelsea. I've got to say, on Liverpool, Mo Salah's was as poor as I've ever seen him yesterday. Many times he gave away the ball, struggled, and it looked like he couldn't hit a barn door. We're talking about a guy who's got an unbelievable amount of goals for Liverpool Football Club. Yeah. Looked like yesterday he couldn't hit a barn door. And, he had 2 or 3 occasions he comes in on his left foot and you think, maybe the keeper will make a save, or he might, he can stick him in the top corner, Mo. He's done that numerous times. It hit way over the bar. Done that about 2 or 3 times in the
Why
game.
do you think it's changed so quickly for Salah?
I don't know. Look, we talk about the pace of the game, and as he lost half a yard, I think Conor Bradley struggling as well behind him. But Mo's giving away the ball. It wasn't just he's missing chances. That happens sometimes in his career. But he's giving away the ball in so many bad areas. And he Bradley's got one issue because Conor Bradley looks like he's going to get booked or sent off every game because he's making so many rash challenges. And then you've got others in the team. McAllister's not playing as well. Nowhere near the McAllister that, played in that great triangle for Liverpool last season. Not playing as well. So there were concerns there. And again, and I've said it, Liverpool conceding 2 goals quite often. That's the 5th time this season already they've conceded 2 goals.
Do you think it's anything to do with how much football these players have been playing these days?
Well, it's an hard one to answer because if you come off it slightly, it can look so different. Do you know what I mean, Shebahn? Where, Liverpool weren't... Look, the first half I thought they struggled, Liverpool. When they brought on Wirtz at half-time, it changed slightly and they looked like they had a bit more energy. And when they got the equaliser, they were on the front foot. The moment they got the equaliser, they then sort of were hanging on. Chelsea then moved up to another gear again. Chelsea have got so much legs in their team. That's the outstanding feature. And they can bring on an array of substitutions. So I wouldn't say... There's a reason why Liverpool got beat yesterday. There's a number of players at Liverpool not playing as well.
Yeah. No,
and that's a bigger problem.
No, you've been mentioning it for the last 5 weeks. You have said we hadn't seen the complete 90 minutes of Liverpool winning games at the death. It's now come back to bite them.
Yeah.
That's 3 losses in the last, 8 days in Europe as well.
It doesn't surprise me. I wasn't surprised they got beat yesterday. The atmosphere was absolutely rocking yesterday.
I'm glad you mentioned that because the bridge was shaking. The camera from watching the game, as it does when the bridge goes mad, was incredible. We can hear now from Willie Caballero, he conducted the post-match interview for Chelsea because Enzo Maresca was sent off for his celebrations. He got 2 yellows in the game. The second one came after the Esteval celebration. Here he is talking about that last-minute winner.
We are so happy about the result, about the goal in the last second. We've been doing everything inside the changing room because we deserve the effort that all the players put inside the pitch today. It was incredible. We have to make some substitution. We finished with 4 fullback against the best team in the league last season, the best team at the moment during this journey, and they did it really well. So we can be more happy for our players.
Caballero there speaking as part of Maresca's coaching staff. Enzo Maresca not being able to conduct that post-match interview for celebrating is an absolute joke. I am not a Chelsea fan, Cass. I couldn't care less in terms of that result for Chelsea yesterday. But for the fans, for the Jose-inspired celebration from Enzo Maresca, for seeing a manager elated with his team's performance and grabbing a last-minute winner, to not be able to enjoy that is doing my nut in. for football. It's the fun police. OK's had an initial yellow for mouthing off in the touchline early on in the game. But to get a yellow for celebrating, to take that emotion, that passion away from football is spoiling the game. Not only has VAR ruined it, and actually, funnily enough, when I was watching the game, I was like, let's hope that doesn't go to VAR, that Esteval goal. Let's hope that is a goal, because so much passion came spilling out of the manager, the fans. Now he's booked. It's a sending off. He's been given the red. Just think, what's the point if there's no enjoyment in those moments from football anymore? They get enough pressure. They get enough heat. They have to take it every single day of the week. Yeah. And then they get a win like that and they can't celebrate with the fans and the players. It's ridiculous. Yeah. Boring now.
It's been eroding for quite a long time, hasn't it? And, you're asking players to go out and perform to a super high level with enthusiasm, desire, motivation, and they're working on that all week with the coaching staff. And then you get a late last gasp winner. What do you expect to happen? We've stopped invading the pitch. That's all been sorted out in recent years. I know that Sheffield Wednesday, for different reasons, had it yesterday, but that isn't happening. If you keep going down the road of taking your shirt off, if it's because they don't want political messaging, well, okay, just fine people if they do that. If they take their shirt off and there's a political message on them, just fine them or suspend them, get a red card, or for doing that. Mm-hmm. If it's something that shouldn't be done, because football has to be really careful on all this political stuff.
Of course.
But yesterday it was that moment. I came into the press conference thinking I'm going to wait, and then I hear Maresca can't do his press conference. So I was like, I know it's a selfish thing, but you want to hear him. You want to hear his comments about just winning in a last minute and how it all came about. And the young kid who's 19 years old gets this winner. You were the manager that made the substitution to get him on and make the difference. You want him to be speaking for everybody to read about afterwards, and not saying, "Oh, by the way, here's a red card and you can get a touchline ban."
Yeah, I mean, VAR has done enough to spoil football for the fans, for the players. And now to take away celebrating, it's the game's gone. It's absolutely gone. What is there to enjoy anymore if you can't enjoy those moments?
And where one final word, because we've got to go a break. I know. Just where does it go if it goes even further than when we are now?
Yeah,
that's what you've got to remember. It can, if they take it a step further because something happened, then you're literally the enjoyment of the game that should be about everybody's weekend, the fans who are loving it, getting, the build up to a Liverpool game at the weekend, and you get so excited. It was rocking at the bridge.
Maresca deserved that moment, and now he's been punished for it. You're listening to Weekend Breakfast here on talkSPORT. Coming up next, we'll take a look back at the events at Old Trafford yesterday. morning. Welcome along to Weekend Breakfast here on talkSPORT. Shebahn Aherne alongside former Villa striker Tony Cascarino. A little bit of Madge. Why? Well, she was at the bridge yesterday. Madonna in the crowds at Chelsea. She would have been going mad at that celebration as well from Enzo Maresca. I don't know if you got to see it on the telly. It panned into Madonna, Cass.
Yeah.
You'd be raging if the cameras caught you in this moment. And she was literally smashing a bag of popcorn. Not just any bag of popcorn, a Ziploc bag of popcorn that she's obviously brought from the house.
Yeah.
A wee takeaway bag.
She's not exactly going to walk in a shop, is she, and ask to get a bag of popcorn? Maybe she would, but
Just us.
someone, I'm sure someone would get them for her.
Did you ever meet Madonna?
No, obviously I knew. I don't know her, but I obviously Vinnie Jones, who I played with, spoke about Madonna a few times because he was big friends with Guy Ritchie, who was married to her.
Yeah.
So she called her Madge all the time, which apparently annoyed her.
No, you can't call her Madge.
No, but he did and didn't stop.
Yeah. I mean, it's random when you see celebrities like Madonna at football grounds, isn't it? Who's the most random celeb you ever saw at a game?
Kylie Minogue goes to the bridge.
She goes there too?
Yeah, she's a Chelsea fan. She goes in there now and again.
Madonna or Kylie?
Oh, Kylie, yeah.
Yeah. Music-wise?
Yeah, that's what I'm speaking about.
Okay. Let's move on. Let's talk about what happened at Old Trafford yesterday. Mason Mount, Benjamin Sesko on target for Man United. They won 2-0, beating Sunderland. We got a decent debut from Manchester United's new keeper, also helped by an overturned VAR decision after Sesko's high boot in the box was deemed to not make contact with whom, having initially been given as a penalty. United boss Ruben Amorim pleased with the win, and also the debut from Lamont, who gave United their first clean sheet of the season.
He played really well with both feet, and that is massive. He was good on the crosses. It's going to be important. He didn't suffer a lot in set pieces because the team helped a lot. That is also important. But he was loud, and he looks like a proper goalkeeper. So I'm really pleased with him.
About time we got to see him.
Do you know what made me laugh about that was he looks like a proper goalkeeper. It's like, we haven't had one of them before.
Yeah.
Why I've been here.
Been struggling for the love of God. But
and to be fair, he made some really decent saves. And, he's 23. He's not a kid. He's 23. He's well capable of playing in goal. And that was a big plus for United yesterday, Lamont.
What did you make of the performance, and how much pressure has that relieved for now on Amorim?
Well, I didn't see the entirety of the game, so I've caught the highlights. So it's hard for me to comment on that. I would, from what I saw, big goal from Mason Mount, because he's been way too much injured for Manchester United.
Took it well.
And yeah, it took it well. First time it comes to him and he picks a spot. I like that. I think Brian Mbeumo is always a big plus. I think he hasn't got the goals that he might have got at Brentford so far, but he's always causing problems. Fantastic work rate when I've watched him. And like yesterday, he had a number of occasions. He gets on that right foot, comes inside on his left, and he just causes problems by the way he plays.
Sesko to score tap.
Yeah, big one for him. Yeah. Big moments for the keeper, for the centre forward. We've got a scenario there. The keeper has to make saves when you're a new signing, and goal scorers have to get goals to settle in. It's a big goal for Sesko because he needed it, because there's a lot of reliance on him to deliver numbers for Manchester United. Their goals for column over recent years has not been great. Their goals against column, has been alarming as well. So they need a goal scorer desperately.
Yeah. Just looking at the table, Manchester United up to 9th, top half. Let it last for more than a day, please. I doubt it will. But just looking at the international break, off the back of that, they've got Liverpool.
Yeah.
And Cash, you can clip it. I don't care. I have a feeling Man United beat Liverpool in that game.
Well, it's the best time to play Liverpool at the moment, isn't it? You're going to have to... Look, I don't imagine going to Anfield is going to be something they would relish, because they never did. Even with the very best Manchester United teams, they knew what a challenge going to Anfield is. And I expect, after losing 3 games on a run for Liverpool, that Anfield will be really up for the visit of Manchester United.
Can't wait.
So I actually feel more optimistic about their chances, Liverpool, because what I've seen in recent weeks has been concerning.
Yeah, fair play, Ruben Amorim. He said that he wanted his players to almost die for him, to give the performance.
Run through brick walls was the same, wasn't it?
Yeah, do it. And do you know what? They did it yesterday, the first half especially, a very, very good performance. Long may it last. They needed it. They absolutely needed it. Coming up for you here on talkSPORT today, a busy old day, 9 o'clock. It's the Sunday edition with Faker Others and Henry Winter. Max and Barry take over at 11 with the warm-up, 1:30 around the grounds with all the goals as they go in from the Prem, the Champ, WSL and beyond. Here's our Sam Mataface.
From 1:30 this afternoon, it's Game Day Live. Crookmeister, where are you going to be?
I'm going to be at a football match because it's a football programme, so I'm off to Brentford, Manchester City. What about you?
It's a live sport programme, and I will be at the NFL at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Bringing
touchdowns as they go in.
Bringing a flavour of our brilliant talkSPORT 2 coverage. 4 2 o'clock kickoffs from the Premier League. We've got EFL action.
It's going to be a goal fest.
See you at 1:30 live on talkSPORT.
Looking forward to it if you're watching on the smart TV. Yeah, they look very smart, all dressed up for us, Cass. That's nice on a Sunday morning. You're listening to the Weekend Sports Breakfast here on talkSPORT. Welcome to Weekend Breakfast here on talkSPORT. We're live on your smart TV or your YouTube channel. If you fancy having a little peep today, Shebahn Aherne alongside former Republic of Ireland striker Tony Cascarino. Did that sound weird? Peep? A little peep?
A peep?
Peep? No, it's fine. Okay, just checking. Some of your headlines you're waking up to this morning. Sad news from the Premier League club. Owner Milan Mandaric has unfortunately passed away at the age of 87 following a short illness. He's the former Portsmouth chairman, wasn't he? The former Portsmouth owner. Lots of tributes coming into Milan Mandaric and his family today. In other news, Blackpool have sacked veteran boss Steve Bruce after 1 year in charge following a poor start to League One. Blackpool 23rd, second from the bottom. You were showing me that breaking news there about Steve Bruce, weren't you?
Yeah. I played with Steve. I started my career at Gillingham, and Steve was a centre half there. A really decent fella. Quite sad to see him going down the ladders or the pyramids of football and trying to keep it going.
They love it though, don't they?
Yeah, I know he does. He loves being involved in football, but he's had a fantastic career as a player and as a manager. Anyone who lasts 20 plus years in management has done well.
Yeah, fair play to him. We'll see what happens.
1,000 games. He's had over 1,000 games.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
And Mohamed Kudus scored one and assisted another as Tottenham beat Leeds at Ellen Road 2-1. Spurs manager Thomas Frank spoke to talkSPORT after the game and praised Kudus's performance.
He's a very good player, 1. 2, he came very early in the season, so he got the whole pre-season with the team and all the principles and all that. And 3, I also think that have been used to play in the Premier League help. But I don't believe that you need to have Premier League experience to play in the Premier League. But I think all 3 things together, I think, adds up. Compared to Xavi Simons, that just arrived, this is probably his best performance. So, the pre-season coming in early, I think that's important as well.
Another great win for Thomas Frank's side. Brilliant going from Matthias Tell and Kudus. What do you think?
I'm glad that Thomas Frank has mentioned the fact of getting players in early, having the pre-season, because so often players go to clubs late in the window and they pay a price for it because they cannot have, when they get their heads turned and the preparation that's needed for the start of the season. Now, Kudus has started from the very first moment he's played for Spurs. I was at the opening game. And he was immediately up pace with the game. I've watched Isaac, come what affected happened at Newcastle with all the delays and would it get over the line? And he's come, and now he's playing catch up, Isaac. And to be fair, yesterday he looked far better shape. And hopefully in the weeks to come, you can see the very best of Isaac. But Kudus is a terrific footballer, and to have him up to speed, absolutely spot on.
And Spurs up to 3rd in the table. How long will that last? We'll see how the results go today. But great start for Thomas Frank at the club. 03717 223344 is the number if you want to have your say this morning. I believe we've got a very excited Chelsea fan on the line. Good morning, Louis.
How you doing, guys? You all right?
How are you, Louis? Come on.
I'm good, mate. I'm very happy with the result today.
Oh, you should be.
Last night.
Last night. I was at the bridge, Louis, and I thought Caicedo was phenomenal yesterday. And many others. I thought the pace of Chelsea's team, and without all the centre-halves that you've got injured, the ones that were injured and the ones that started that come off as well.
100%. I mean, I think Chimpong, who obviously came in for, Chalobah, who was out, I thought he was brilliant.
Yeah,
filling in that role, especially against Liverpool. It's probably one of the biggest games of his career. I thought he was brilliant.
I think it was his 6th game, wasn't it? His 5th or 6th game yesterday for Chelsea.
Yeah, I mean, look, he's played in a few of the smaller games, like the Carabao Cup games, few Conference League games last season. But every time he's filled in any Premier League games, he's always slotted in quite well. So, I mean, look, Enzo obviously trusts him well. So there's no reason why I don't think they can go forward with him in the future. But I do think at certain times, like we got Gusto I was a bit unsure with the position Gusto was playing earlier because he was playing more like an attacking. I don't know. He was one of the furthest players forward in the pitch in the first half. It kind of threw me off a little bit. So
yeah. By the way, Louis, can I just?
I like to hear your thoughts on that. I didn't know about that. It was a little bit strange, I thought.
Well, he played Reece James in a certain position that allowed him to, he played the right back, and Gusto moved into midfield. And to be fair, I thought, especially first half, I thought he did really well with Fernandes and Caicedo. That's a pretty dynamic midfield in itself. I thought Pedro was a little bit isolated up front, but there's a lot of good things yesterday. Look, the atmosphere was phenomenal. I've been to a lot of games at Stamford Bridge, and I thought yesterday, okay, it was a late goal, but it was the pace of the game set the tempo. You felt like the fans were on the edge of the seats all the time.
Yeah, 100%. I completely agree. And it was one of them games where even when we were drawing and we conceded the goal, I feel like maybe before the game we would have gone, you know what, take a draw. But actually, by the time we were at that position, it was a little bit like it would have been disappointing if we took a draw, because I thought we were the way better team, which we were. We were the way better team.
Yeah, it was a very good performance, a great win. Louis, thank you so much for your call this morning, Louis, the Chelsea fan. We were, Cass and I, just saying it's ridiculous that Enzo Maresca got a second yellow for the celebrations. The fun is gone from football. If managers can't celebrate that, where are we at with the game? It's just can't celebrate anything anymore. Let's turn our attention to Arsenal, who will be happy. Yeah. They'll be celebrating top of the league. I know a number of Arsenal fans delighted this morning going into the international break, sitting top. A couple of problems though, because Odegaard came off, Cass.
Yeah.
And we saw the magic player that he can be midweek, especially in the Champions League. He was absolutely excellent. Declan Rice also getting a goal, and he hobbled off as well.
Yeah, I mean, Odegaard, I was at the game against Olympiacos and thought that Odegaard just pulls all the strings, and he's a talented footballer, and yet there's some frustration with Arsenal fans that at times they felt he should have been left out. I think Arsenal are a much better team with him in it when he's up to speed. But look, it was so comfortable for Arsenal yesterday. I watched a lot of the game when I got back home last night, and I was, if you look at the numbers, I mean, we shouldn't go on dates all the time, but it was literally 22 shots Arsenal and 0 on target for West Ham, and hardly caused a problem for Arsenal. It was the most comfortable 2-0 you've seen.
Yeah, penalty from Bukayo Saka. What a penalty it was as well. I mean, he's just so crucial to them having him fitting in the team.
Yeah, again, a vital player, pivotal player to the team and how they function. Arsenal have got absolutely the best chance that they've had since Arteta got the job of winning the league. This year is the year that they can win it. And I've said from the very start, they are the team to beat. It wasn't Liverpool, it wasn't Man City for me, it was Arsenal. Because of the recruitment, the size of their squad, the players in every position, they can suffer injuries. They are, look, they're not the biggest entertainers, but they're a side that function really well.
Let's hear from the manager, Mikel Arteta. He spoke about the injury situation surrounding Martin Odegaard and Declan Rice.
Yeah, with Martin, he clashed knee to knee. He was uncomfortable straight away. It doesn't look too good, to be fair, and just by telling by his face. We'll have to wait and see the MRI scan what he shows. With Declan, he continuously told me to come off. He wasn't comfortable. He had a pain in his back. So let's wait and see what the doctor says.
We go into the international break now. A lot of people will be wanting Martin Odegaard wrapped up in cotton wool. If there is a problem there, can Eze flourish in that role?
Absolutely. I mean, Eze's a top player, and again, he was one of the recruitments that I think have put Arsenal on a different level, that they can utilise him in different ways. He's a fantastic footballer. You can give him the ball anywhere on the pitch, and he's capable of keeping it and moving it.
Made the goal yesterday.
He missed a great chance, didn't he? He had a really good chance to score, and he missed that. But Eze is a player that you when you go and watch him, you go, not many players can do what he can do on a football field.
Are they the complete side that can win the title if there's an issue with Odegaard?
No, I think they're the most functional side. I wouldn't say they're the most complete. I look at them and think they will get clean sheets a hell of a lot during the course of the season. They'll score goals and they'll win games like 2-0, like they did midweek. If you watch the Olympiacos game in midweek, Arsenal were in second gear. And yesterday they were in second gear and won the game 2-0.
Do you what? Like you mentioned, the amount of shots that they've had. Do you want to see them kill the game more? Get more goals?
Well, I think for Arsenal fans, they just want to get the 3 points, and they are a team that can do that with a lot more maturity. I think the reason why they come second is obviously everyone will look at the fall away at the end of every season. As long as they've got enough players fit, I don't think that will be the case this year.
Yeah, and we did talk yesterday. Into the game.
Having them the best defensive side, they are the best defensive team. They're going to keep the most clean. That is going to enable them to have a chance to win it. I don't see a collapse there.
What do you make of Zubimendi? I thought he had a good performance yesterday.
He's a fabulous footballer, keeps the ball brilliantly well, moves it. He's an upgrade, you know. He's an upgrade as a player for them in midfield. But they have many different players who bring something to the table. And then they're also young lads they can bring on as well and make a difference.
Do you think this side has the mentality to stay top and go on and win the league?
I think yes now, but that's not a guarantee until we get there. So when we get to if it's a close battle with anybody, you know, how they can respond, because that's, you know, the greatest teams have always managed to find a way. Mm-hmm. That's, like I said, it's not winning games in the last minute at the start of the season. The very best teams do that when it's in the vital running. I think they're going to be the team to beat. That's my answer.
OK, you're listening to Weekend Sports Breakfast here on talkSPORT. Coming up next, we'll turn our attention to some of the other action you may have missed yesterday, with a huge top-of-the-table clash in the WSL and a massive day in the Championship as well. It's Weekend Breakfast here on talkSPORT. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome along to Weekend Sports Breakfast here on talkSPORT. Shebahn Aherne alongside former Marseille striker Tony Cascarino.
Top of the league in Liga in France.
Will they
Marseille
win?
Beat PSG last week as well.
Wow.
PSG got a game in hand, but Marseille are top.
Okay, fair play.
Roberto De Zerbi, manager. Former Brighton manager.
Of course, yeah. Oh, well done to Marseille. Get Tony back in the crowds for the
trophy
parade. Yeah, exactly. Some of your headlines you're waking up to this Sunday morning. Vinicius Jr. scored twice as Real Madrid bounced back from their humiliating thrashing by neighbours Atletico last weekend by beating Villarreal 3-1 on Saturday to go top of La Liga. In other news, Harry Kane continued his scoring run as Bayern defeated Eintracht Frankfurt 3-0 to stretch their lead at the top of the Bundesliga now to 4 points. Will Kane win another title?
Oh, of course. Absolutely. He'll probably win the Golden Boot by about 15 goals as well in Germany.
What a player. And there's loads trending across the website talksport.com this morning. Here's talkSPORT's Sean O'Brien with more.
Yes, talksport.com has a few things you might have missed after a busy Saturday of sporting action. Storm Amy wreaked havoc across the UK and a number of Europe's Ryder Cup heroes were caught up in the chaos. In tennis, find out why British star Heather Watson announced she will take an extended break from the sport. And in the Premier League, Martin Odegaard was forced off for Arsenal once again, and he actually set a new top flight record in the process. You can read about that and so much more over on talksport.com.
Get a cup of tea and go there now and stay with us here on talkSPORT. It was a massive day in the EFL and WSL yesterday. Cass, it was a great day for Coventry City. They went top of the championship. Here's all you missed.
It's not dealt with. It'll fall to Sakamoto. 5-0. Hits it first time. And Wednesday on their knees. And Coventry have been ruthless. For Coventry, they look like they're closing in on a Premier League return. It's very early days, but they're scoring goals and picking up points. Another 5 goals today, another 3 points and another clean sheet. Frank Lampard signed in fine fettle going into the international break. They're top of the pile in the Championship. It ends at Hillsborough. Sheffield Wednesday 0, Coventry 5.
Super Frank Lampard.
Yeah, it's going brilliantly well. By the way, listen to these numbers on Coventry. Apart from, they're top of the league, but goals at home 11, better than anybody else. 4 goals, 11, better than anybody else. Away 16, double goals. They've got double more than every other club in the Championship. So the next best goals for is 8. How incredible is that? So it's a free scoring Coventry. And fair play to Frank Lampard. He'll probably tell you, he's walked into a very good squad of players. But boy, they're taking, and I felt a bit for Sheffield Wednesday because obviously what's going on off the pitch.
Yeah, I mean there was protests yesterday from the Wednesday fans. Here to tell us a little bit more about it, we can speak to our EFL and WSL reporter Charlotte Richardson. Good morning, Charlotte.
Charlotte.
Good morning, guys. How are we?
Yeah, good. Where do you want to start? Do you want to start with top of the league? Because obviously Sheffield Wednesday, there's 2 2-coin points. Coventry being top, and the problems on the field with Sheffield Wednesday. Off the field, sorry.
Let's start at the top. And I think the point you were making, Cass, about the goals that Coventry are scoring is absolutely ridiculous. Imagine going into this second international break with a plus 20 goal difference. Absolutely ridiculous. And the Championship is merciless. It is not easy to build really good results and consistency. But the way that Frank Lampard has set up his team with real freedom in the final third has been so impressive, but also they're keeping clean sheets. They have got the key ingredients, I think, to really push at the top of the Championship. And they were ruthless against Sheffield Wednesday, who, credit to them, up until that game, I think they have been relatively competitive. I think it's the 5th month out of 7 that there've been late payments for the players. The manager revealed in the week that 11 of the first team hadn't been paid. And once Coventry got a grip on that game, there really was no looking back, and the scoreline was a reflection of their sheer dominance, really.
Yeah, it was a bit of a mess. You feel for the Wednesday players, you feel for the fans as well, but you can't take away from Coventry how dominant they are. Can we focus as well on the Old Firm derby today? Ipswich Norwich, it's live on talkSPORT 2. This should be a good one, Charlotte.
Yeah, 12 p.m. kick-off, the East Anglian derby, and I think as well for both of these teams, it's about kicking into gear a little bit, especially for Ipswich, having been relegated. Again, finding their feet at this Championship level, it's been far from easy. And at home, they're going to be looking to capitalise and make it a really, really good atmosphere. Getting off to as good a start as possible there, I think, is going to be key for them. I actually covered the game that they had against Southampton. They got off to a cracking start in that one, but weren't able to push on. But again, just before this international window, all clubs want to be going into that break with a positive result, and I'm just relishing that derby. I think it's going to be a good one.
Well, you talk about positive results in the WSL. What about Manchester City beating Arsenal? Crazy.
Huge result, and as we know in the WSL, you can ill afford to drop points. And I was looking at the league table actually just before coming on and seeing that Arsenal were 5 points off of top spot already. But what a fantastic competitive contest! Everything you want in the WSL, really. It was brilliant, and for Manchester City, it was the kind of result I think that they needed, their new manager needed as well, building up into that late winner. It looked like perhaps Chloe Kelly was going to write the headlines with her late goal, but a brilliant result for Manchester City. And that top of the table, I mean, it's only United and Chelsea that haven't suffered defeat so far this season. And like I say, you just can't afford to put a foot wrong. And for Arsenal, it's looking like quite a tough task to tally up the points and be involved in that picture of being champions at the end of the season.
I just wanted to mention actually on Man City, Charlotte and Cass, I mean, an incredible start to the season. For me, I think they will win the title. Right, I think that's where we're at the minute. You cannot afford to be Arsenal and dropping this many points already. We know it's a small league; they have to be picking up points sooner. Special mention to Bunny Shaw, who for me is just the complete striker. She's a proper handful, and that's why City are getting these games and getting 3 points in the bag. But Kirsten Kasperai, that's 3 player of the match performances in 4 games. What an absolute superstar. She's in the form of her life. Do you think Arsenal can catch up, or do you think maybe the Champions League put a plaster over what maybe are more problems at Arsenal than we focus on?
I think that's a really good point, because for Arsenal, they've been so free scoring in the WSL. But like we were saying about Coventry, it's all very well and good doing the business down one third of the pitch, but you have to be solid defensively. And because Arsenal were scoring so much towards the end of last season, had that Champions League win, which was fantastic, all the defensive solidity to beat Barcelona, but they were leaking goals, weren't they, towards the end of last season, which was costing them. And they had Katie Reid slotting in the absence of Leah Williamson, who the England Lionesses captain. We don't need to preach about what she brings to a team defensively. Katie Reid started the season, then Lotte Ruben-Moy, Steph Catley playing in that centre-back role. It's just exposed some defensive fragility, and it means that Arsenal cannot guarantee themselves they can work.
Oh, Charlotte, we've just lost you. Yeah, for me, Cass, I think Arsenal losing this many points so early in the season is a real issue for them, albeit they've got an excellent team and the Champions League was amazing. I still think the problems in the league are there, and they need to get back to winning the league. You know, they're a long way from it.
I mean, I'm so fixed on Premier League football. I have to, careful. I don't see any of the WSL.
Come in my house, we'll turn it on.
I just don't see it. Because I only basically, because of my work commitments, I'm watching Premier League games and sometimes Championship.
Arsenal should be doing better. That's all you need to do.
Yeah, well, they should. Well, when you're champions of Europe, you're expected to not be 5 points off the top of the table.
This is it. We will see what happens next. By the way, Chelsea and Man United drew a 1-1 draw.
I saw that
on Friday night, and that ends Chelsea's 100% start to the season. It's an interesting one. Have to see if they can do it again for their 6th consecutive title, or will it be Man City or United? Coming up next on Weekend Sports Breakfast, we'll be building up to today's Premier League action. All that coming to you next. Good morning.
What football ground are you thinking of when someone says this?
Really tough place to go. Difficult place to go. Such a tough place to go.
It's a tough place to go at the moment.
It was a really difficult place to go, always.
But what are the toughest places to go, really? We've scoured the planet to find out. Forget a cold, wet Tuesday night in Stoke. Try playing in a blizzard 220 miles inside the Arctic Circle at the world's northernmost professional club. When Chelsea lost at Tromsø in Norway in the 97-98 Cup Winners' Cup, a massive snowstorm hit at half-time. These two boys and their brooms were absolutely no match for it. We're staying in Scandinavia for Scotland's toughest away day on a windswept cliff in the Faroe Islands. In Euro 2000 qualifying, Craig Brown's men were taken to fishing village Toftir. Kevin Gallagher called the pitch a cowfield and the wind like Pittodrie on a bad day. The Faroe Islands part-timers equalised in stoppage time, leading to these absolute scenes, and still one of Scotland's most embarrassing results.
Daft little ground, silly game.
But away trips don't come any tougher than a lung-busting schlep up the Andes to face Bolivia in La Paz. But now the Bolivians have taken home advantage to another level. The country's highest city, El Alto, 4,100 metres above sea level. Grass doesn't even grow up here. Bolivia have not lost here yet. The longest unbeaten run in any professional league ever belongs to Red Star Belgrade, or Crvena Zvezda if you must. They've gone 7 years without defeat at the Rajko Mitic in Serbia's Superliga. Their fans are pretty intimidating as well, but they're not as loud as this mob. Galatasaray's Ali Sami Yen Stadium's officially the loudest in world football. In a derby with Fenerbahce, Galatasaray fans set a Guinness World Record of 131 decibels. That's louder than Motorhead, and pretty tough to carry out your manager's instructions when you can't even hear them. However, our most intimidating away day is in Wales, where cameras can't enter and players can't leave. HMP Prescoed. This prison team was briefly kicked out the Gwent League over concerns about young opposition having to go in there. Now that's a tough place to go.
Early June 1939, Germany, always a tough place to go to.
Good morning, welcome along to Sunday Weekend Sports Breakfast here on talkSPORT. It's Shebahn alongside former Marseille striker who are top of the league. It's Tony Cascarino. Good morning.
Good morning, everybody.
We have lots on the agenda today. For the second time in a week, Liverpool suffered defeat in the last minute.
It's a winner for Chelsea. Chelsea 2, Liverpool 1, and it's Esteban who has won it.
Don't celebrate too much, you might get a second yellow. Fun police on high alert at the game yesterday. A huge win for Chelsea though against the champions. How damaging is that defeat for Liverpool? Cascarino, you have your concerns.
Yes, I certainly do. Nothing surprised me that they got beat yesterday. Off it really first half, second half got back into the game. But Chelsea, I felt, deserved the win.
Fair enough. Elsewhere, Manchester United picked up a much-needed victory at home to Sunderland.
It's Manchester United 2, Sunderland 0, and the full-time whistle blows as you come to us on Ruben Amorim's 50th game as Manchester United manager. He celebrates with 3 points.
Good to see a happy Ruben Amorim, but does this ease the pressure on him? Maybe just for a moment. It's Liverpool next after the international break, and both North London sides picked up victories. Arsenal are top following their win over West Ham, while Spurs defeated Leeds at 2-1. Live on talkSPORT.
Kudus comes back in on his left foot, draws the ball down low to the left and produces a brilliant finish past Carl Darlow and into the net.
Spurs up to third in the Premier League. We're bringing you all of the action you need to know today, and the number if we want to hear from you, have a vent, talk positively about your club, give us a call. 03717 22 33 44. You're listening to Weekend Breakfast here on talkSPORT. And now we're going to look ahead to a very busy day in the Premier League. You've got 5 more games to enjoy. We're going to keep you across it all live for you here on talkSPORT.
Comes from again, and he sweeps Aston Villa into a 2-0 lead.
We are getting confident, we are feeling stronger.
3 points at the Etihad. Manchester City 5, Burnley 1.
The first lot of fixtures, it ain't probably going to define on the fixtures we've had.
Michael Keane is there to head it in. Eddie Nketiah has just blasted in from the corner of the 6-yard box. Selhurst Park erupts.
Every win, every good performance increases the self-confidence, and this is what we can see.
Sacked in the morning. The chant of the Nottingham Forest fans. Some of them were pointing at Postecoglou.
I knew I was getting sacked at Tottenham about 3 or 4 months before I did. Didn't stop me winning something.
And Bruno Guimaraes gets above the marker and heads the ball in.
And tucked in! Santi Bueno! Wolves have scored!
Chelsea 1, Brighton 3. Danny Welbeck with his second of the afternoon. Jensen's going to go for goal and win the game with an absolute stunner. Haaland goes up for the header, and it's a brilliant header from Erling Haaland, who has his second of the night.
It's not easy. This is the Premier League.
Yeah, great games ahead of you today. 2 o'clock kick-offs for Aston Villa versus Burnley, Brighton, Wolves, Everton, Crystal Palace, and Newcastle take on Forest. Ange Postecoglou looking for a win, maybe at St James's Park, and 4:30. Brentford to take on Manchester City. Which game are you looking forward to today, Cass? You can actually sit at home and rest today and watch.
Yeah, Everton versus Palace.
That's your one, yeah.
Yeah, I think that'll be a cracking game. Look, Palace have been on an amazing run. And kudos to the club and how the players have reacted this season, because they've been a handful for everybody. We've seen it in cup finals, Community Shield. Palace are a really decent side and going to go to Everton at their new stadium. And, I just think that there's some... Look, Brentford Man City is I think an interesting one, but I will just edge on Everton Palace.
You know what? If Palace are to win today,
yes,
take them up to third in the Premier League. I mean, we were kind of chatting about this briefly yesterday, but these teams now, every season, we're seeing it now, a team really surprising people, and obviously how Palace ended the season, they've continued that run with Glasner. He's got to be the hottest property managerial wise.
Yeah, even considering European football, which Palace achieved, obviously last season. Can they go one step better and get to the Champions League? I very much doubt it, but everything that Palace have done in the last year or so has astounded me. Yeah. How capable are they? Especially defensive. I talked about Arsenal earlier and how good they are defensively. You can put Palace in there as well.
Yeah.
Have you said to me, the way they play their system, they do it as well as any team I've ever seen. That's a hard system to play. The 3 in the wing, pushing the fullbacks on. It's a really tough one to get right.
And only conceded 3 goals so far this season as well. I mean, they're doing so well. The later game this afternoon, Brentford host Manchester City. City need a win. They're sitting 8th in the table. A win would take them up to 5th. They need that.
Yeah. I just want to mention Erling Haaland. Oh. I mean, he's played 10 games this year so far, this season. And he's played a couple of international games as well for Norway. He's got 17 goals in 10 games. And he's only failed to score in one of them 10 games, was against Spurs at home, which they lost 2-0. Yes, he scored 5 against Moldova, but Erling Haaland is on fire. So it's stopping. He's now become, for a period of time, he felt like he was redundant. Even though he got all the numbers with Man City, it felt like they didn't use him as often as they needed to. They had other players that could create, and because of their obsession with passing, now it's slightly different. And now, clearly, Haaland is the guy that makes a difference for them.
Ange Postecoglou searching for a win as Forest manager. We heard from him there in the preview for today. He knew he was going to be getting sacked from Spurs. It didn't stop him winning anything. His quotes keep coming and coming. They're brilliant. But just even him saying that, I'm like, Ange, you're great. He's box office. Wolves crying out for a win. The rock bottom of the Premier League. Here looking ahead to the game. For Wolves today is podcaster and Wolves fan Dazzling Dave. Good morning, Dazzler. How are you today?
Hi, Dave.
Yes, good morning, Kaz. Good morning, Shebahn. Good to speak to you again.
Nice to see you as well. How are you feeling about this today, Dazzler? Because, I mean, Brighton are a very organised side. What's the feeling like with the fan base?
It's early to say it's a must win, but we really have to win the game. But Brighton are our bogey team. We've only beat them, I think, twice in 12. We haven't beat them in 7. They've won on their last 4 visits to Molineux, and indeed Brighton, the only side that the Seagulls have ever won 5+ successive away games in their league history are against Grimsby. 5 from 85 to 92, and would you believe Wolves 6 from 1979 to 91. They are our bogey team, but we've got to break that curse today.
Have you seen any hope? Because obviously you've had a tough summer. Pereira's been offered a new contract. You've lost players, Yeah. So how do you feel? Is it a little bit misleading that Wolves are just sitting on 1 point, or would you like to say they've done better than that, Dave?
I think apart from the City game, they've been odd goal defeats, haven't they? We've won, obviously, that beat West Ham, and we beat Everton in the Cup. But there's a lot, like you say, there's a lot of changes in the summer. We lost a lot of goals and goal assists with Ryan Ait-Nouri, Matheus Cunha. Sarabia went, our captain went, Semedo. They have bought in a lot of players. Vitor Pereira said himself they were bought in very, very late. Tulu looks like a player. I'll tell you what, Ladislav Krejci, he's the real deal, fantastic. And Vitor Pereira made 9 changes for the Tottenham game from the previous week, and that never before in the history of the Premier League at this stage of the season 9+ changes been made at this earlier. And I'll tell you what, against Everton, we looked like in the Cup we looked good, and against Tottenham we actually looked like we're starting to look like a team. Vitor Pereira said in his press conference today he hadn't had a lot of time to work with the players, obviously, for the last international break, and he's seeing signs now that they're understanding what they're doing and they can play with a bit more freedom. And the results against Everton and performances against Everton and Tottenham gives us a springboard. But we're so slow starters. If Wolves lose to Brighton today, it'll be the first time in Premier League history, would you believe, top flight history, I think, that a team have lost their opening 4 home matches in successive seasons. So we don't want that record. So we need to win the game today. But however we do, we just need a win going into the international break, and that would be a springboard, hopefully. But we're so slow to start as we did it last year.
Feel your pain, Dave. Good luck to you today. You going to the game?
Always. We're always there. We always go in hope. I'm going with a 2-1 win to Wolves, and we're going to break that hoodoo, and we're going to get ourselves going, and looking forward to it.
Good luck to you today, Dazzler Dave. Thanks for being up nice and early with us. Wolves take on Brighton 2:00 this afternoon. All of the updates coming for you on game day today, 1:30 with Sam Matterface. He'll keep you across it all. You're listening to the Weekend Sports Breakfast here on talkSPORT. Coming up next, we'll get into today's back pages. Good morning, welcome along to Weekend Breakfast here on talkSPORT. It's Shebahn Aherne alongside former Celtic and Red Star striker Tony Cascarino, fond of a little 1-2 step. Paddy Bra.
What, Strictly?
Yeah.
I don't really watch it.
Does Joe watch it?
Yeah, well, she has done over the years, but she flips in and out of it. You know, I told you before she had a friend that won it.
No. Oh, yeah, sure.
Stacey
Dooley, yeah.
She
was magic.
She worked with Stacey at the airport. I've told that a few times.
Oh, Joe must know all the stories.
Stacey Dooley's done really well in her career, but she actually stayed for me, and she never paid me for them. Or, repaid me back. She stayed at ours a few times.
Oh,
yeah.
Yesterday on Strictly, Ross King. I used to work at Good Morning Britain, and Ross King was is a presenter at Good Morning Britain and on Lorraine. And last night he did Sunshine on Leith.
Yeah.
What a song, by the way. I mean, and it made me think yesterday about the game, Hearts beating Hibs, and that's Hibs' song. Oh, it's only magic, but it didn't happen.
Yeah, answer me this on this. I mean, look, Look, the standards always go up, don't they? The dancers have become nearly like, some of them are professional, aren't they?
Yeah.
I saw one guy
musical
last week.
theatre and whatnot, yeah.
Just like, they're frightening how good some of them are now. Where originally it started there were a lot of bad dancers and, people were getting eliminated quite quickly. But you're now seeing the final 2 or 3 couples are just extraordinary.
Yeah, unbelievable. Kaz Carney, by the way, former Chelsea player. Oh my God, she's unbelievable at dancing. I had no idea she'd be able to shift like that.
Yeah.
It's brilliant. When you see footballers being able to dance like that, it's so good. By the way, speaking of which, Hearts are 5 points clear of Celtic in the SPL.
See how late the goal was?
Oh, at the
In
day.
the Edinburgh derby. It was literally 90 odd minutes.
Yeah, no, unbelievable.
Yeah.
Hearts 5 points clear. Celtic play today. We have got Motherwell at home, and Rangers go away to Falkirk today. But unbelievable, just a change of the times maybe. Hopefully not for too long, but Hearts, fair play to them, sitting top of the SPL by 5 points. We'll keep you posted on all of the action from all the goals around the country as they go in with Sam Matterface from 1:30 today. Cass, it's Sunday. You love getting stuck in at the papers early on a Sunday morning. There's some good stories going around today.
Yeah, I'm going to read this one out because it's an interesting one. It's by Rory Smith. I used to know Rory as Rory K. Smith. He's dropped the K. I don't know why, but when I next bump into him, I'll ask him. But he's got a piece in The Observer, and it's called Vogue for Nostalgia, exposes yearning for a time football was simpler and more fun. And it's a really good piece about the love of the 90s, and it starts off with the sort of debacle into the 2000s of the Roy Keane, Saipan, Mick McCarthy, and how football has changed so much. And, we go back and the period when football was great. And me and many others who played in the 80s and 90s will say to you that it was the greatest time to play football, because you had some sort of life. And now we're seeing, there's Stick to Football podcast, isn't there? And getting 1.5 million YouTube followers, and we've got all these things going on in football and how football's changed dramatically. And it's a really good piece on what football used to be and what it is today. And it is hedge funds in football, and then there's countries running certain clubs. Mm-hmm. It's just so different from years gone by.
I mean, most of these changes all dominated by money.
Yes, absolutely.
And that can't relate to the fans. Most of the fans, are working normal jobs and commit to visiting their team and being part of the journey through thick and thin. But the money now calls all the shots.
Yeah. Do you know one thing that I find incredible? If you go back to the 80s and 90s, it was difficult for clubs to fill out their stadiums. Okay, you try and get tickets now for Premier League games. You cannot. I can't get tickets for Liverpool at home games. Mm-hmm. Try and go up and see a home game. I know 5 Liverpool players. They tell you the same. But this isn't just Liverpool. This is nearly all the clubs. I get asked in midweek, someone says, you know anybody at Arsenal? And I say, well, I sort of do. I do. But, asking them for tickets is really, because they'll say, yeah, I'm getting asked relentlessly for tickets. Liverpool play Arsenal in January the 7th. Into the new year. I've asked 5 months before to someone I know, could I get a ticket? For no chance.
Yeah.
And this is like you said, the money. But this is many clubs. It's really hard. There's waiting lists on loads of clubs at the top flight to get tickets to see a game.
Do you still prefer football back then?
Well, I'd like to think I'll try and evolve as football goes along, but there's a big part of me, without being too biased, that they feel like the game was a great game for many different reasons, and older generations have to come to terms with that. That if I'm like yesterday, prime example, I came away from that game, my team lost, but what a game to witness. Mm-hmm. It was a fabulous game between Chelsea and Liverpool. Yeah. It was a fast, high-tempo game. Was football played like that? Not as relentless as that yesterday. But there was different, they had bad pitches in years gone by. I mean, when I played at Stamford Bridge, it was bobbly as hell. Yeah. Now I'm seeing a perfect pitch everywhere. And that's not my excuse for me not controlling the ball, but it's, you know what I mean? Everywhere's immaculate.
Yeah, and even then...
It's too perfect in some way.
Yeah, and how it's evolved to the point of VAR.
7 subs and...
Yeah, and the fun kind of coming out of the game now. We spoke about it earlier on. Both of us think it's ridiculous that Enzo Maresca can't enjoy that moment with his game. And
again, celebration for goals.
Because otherwise, what's it about? What is football about without that passion and the celebrating the moments that, that get you that excited? It has evolved, and sometimes it isn't for the better.
No.
When it comes to that, it's not for the better of the game.
No, well, everyone's afraid of consequences, aren't they?
Yeah.
Oh, this might happen, that could happen. And, well, football survived a long time, and there were dark periods. Let's not get it wrong. Mm-hmm. 70s and early 80s football was very dark as a fan going to a game.
Yeah.
We've eradicated 90% of that, okay? But there are still things to love about the modern game, but it's hard to go along with the ride, isn't it, and get to where we are now. And the celebration thing is a big thing.
Yeah, actually, there's a brilliant video going around on social media this morning, shot by one of the Chelsea fans, and Enzo Maresca's running towards that kind of area of the fan base to celebrate, running down the touchline, and he's caught it so perfectly. And I thought to myself, fair play, Enzo. Just enjoy the moment while you can, and someone will always be there to take it away from you. But I was genuinely happy for him. I was happy for Chelsea yesterday.
It was a bit like last week at the Ryder Cup. One of my friend's sons was there, and he sent a video back.
I saw that video.
Yeah, I sent the video on to a few people, and it's him watching Shane Lowry with a load of Irish fans behind him, literally taking the putt. And then it just goes bonkers as soon as he holds it. We don't want to take away from that from sport.
Yeah.
They're incredible moments.
Absolutely. Completely agree with you on that. And I'm sure everybody listening this morning who is a sports fan want those moments. That's what it's all about. Good story inside the Times. Did you see that was today, Cass? Is that in the Times?
No, this is in the Observer.
Today. Okay.
But it's Rory K. Smith.
Rory K.
But
Smith.
he's Rory Smith on his headline. I'll ask him.
Rock star.
What's happened to the K?
Or divorce, one or the other. By the way, coming up for you on the talkSPORT Daily podcast, you can download that now from the talkSPORT app. You can listen to it there. On our chat today, it's Phil Foden's former coach, Steve Ayre. He's with Rory Jennings and Harry Symeou to explain why we've seen Phil Foden's dip in form and the way it is back on the pitch so far this season. It's available now on all podcast platforms. It's called talkSPORT Daily, and you can listen for free on the talkSPORT app. Coming up next, we're going to be joined here in the studio by our Artist of the Week. He's a former Watford Academy star and with a fascinating story. His name's Max Ryan. He's our Artist of the Week. He's with us next on Breakfast. there, good morning. Welcome along to Weekend Sports Breakfast here on talkSPORT. Shebahn Aherne alongside former Villa and Chelsea striker Tony Cascarino. Some of your other headlines you're waking up to this morning from the Premier League. Manchester United head coach Ruben Amorim marked his 50th game in charge with a 2-0 victory over Sunderland. Cass, we needed that. Liverpool after the international break. It's changing times, I can feel it.
Yeah, well, we'll see. You'll see. The international break will come, and after that, you'll find out where you are.
Big Lamin's
I think
like
it's
a proper
probably,
keeper.
Although results-wise, it's probably the best time to play Liverpool, but in other ways, you could argue it's the worst time because of the 3 defeats they've had, and the team you're playing is one of your the most, biggest rivalry.
Credit when it's due, though. Excellent in the first half yesterday, Manchester United. Man City forward Savinho has signed a new long-term contract, keeping him at the Etihad until 2031. Good news. And it should be a fascinating game at Hill Dickinson today. Everton host at Crystal Palace. With all of the updates coming on talkSPORT, here's our Matt Jones.
I'm Matt Jones. Everton against Crystal Palace for me at Hill Dickinson Stadium this afternoon. Should be a really intriguing game. Everton really need to snap out of this winless run that now stretches to 3 matches. And of course, they couldn't beat West Ham at home last time out. And they take on a Crystal Palace team involved in Europe on Thursday. Will that take its toll? But they're also looking to extend that club record unbeaten run. Should be a really tight match between 2 very well-matched teams. Everton against Crystal Palace at Hill Dickinson Stadium.
Is it getting boring how much everybody loves at Crystal Palace? But a win today would take them up to 3rd in the Premier League. Unbelievable. I think they can continue. Be second.
They'd be above Liverpool on goal difference.
Would they really?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's brilliant, isn't it?
Yeah. If they perform like we know they can and go and get a result at Everton, they can go above them.
Up at Palace ahead of the game, their boss Oliver Glasner said their team are not thinking about their record-breaking start to the season.
The approach is the same, yeah. Also now we don't go to Everton and say, let's stay unbeaten to extend the run. No, it's go there and try to win the game. And then let's see, then in sports we don't know, but we don't talk about it.
They must talk about it. They must be sitting going, here, guys, we're doing all right. We're no bad this season.
I don't remember sitting in any dressing room and talking about how well we're doing. You might be in that position late on in the season, but after 6, 7 games, no chance.
Can't they maintain?
I remember being top of the league after 6 games with Millwall, and it was like afterwards, but we didn't sit in the dressing room talking about being top of the league. There was a buzz, so you could feel the atmosphere and everyone having a spring in their step. You felt that, but no.
Okay. Everton's Jack Grealish left out of the England squad. He's been great. It's been a great move for him to Everton. Do you think he'll have a point to prove against Palace today after being dropped out of the England squad again?
I think the bigger point to prove is that Harry can, influence Everton this season. I think that's the biggest thing for him. Man City have let him go out on loan. He's got more to do at club level, and just do what you're doing, Jack. And I wouldn't be, unless it's a Tuchel thing that he's not really interested in the type of winger that obviously he is, Jack. I think the bigger point is do what you're doing for Everton.
Everton 10th on the table. They take on Palace, who are in 5th. It's at Hill Dickinson today, 2 o'clock kickoff, and all of the updates will be with you with Matt Jones here on talkSPORT. It's time now for this.
We won't stop driving until we find it, until we find it.
Oh, it's the pipes of Max Ryan. It's called Life Goes, and Max is with us in the studio now, our band artist of the week. Hello.
Hi, Max.
How are we?
Yeah, good. You?
Yeah, good, thank you. Good to be here.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just looking at your kind of background. You were in the Watford Academy, so you can play football, you're an Arsenal fan, and you can sing.
Yeah, try to do it all.
A lot of boxes there, Max.
Yeah, it's good. But
so tell us about the Watford Academy and how close you got to making it, do you think?
Well, I obviously went to trials when I was like 6 years old, went all the way through the academy up until 16, got a 2-year scholar, and then from there got offered my 1-year pro. So I was close to it. There was a couple of times where I was involved. Oh, it's going off. But a couple of times we was involved in the Premier League squad and stuff as well. So,
Right.
As close as you could probably get.
What was your position, Max?
So it's centre mid and centre back. I think what happens is the academy. I started obviously as a striker, and you kind of just work your way back, don't you? But and ended up sort of centre back and centre mid as well.
And how did you take? So I say not making it, but did you not even go non-league, or how did it affect you?
It affected me looking back on it more than I thought of at the time. And obviously it affects a lot of
your
boys
family, your mum and dad have done a hell of a lot.
And I think that's the biggest thing. It affects sort of the people around you more. Yeah. You know, I've obviously got my head around it now. It's been a few years, but it's tough. And there needs to be obviously a little bit more help for those kids that were obviously coming out of those system. And, you know, I was just lucky enough that I sort of had an outlet in music and you know, and some people don't. So.
One quick question before you play. About the friends that got let go as well, because you obviously have association with other players that are very near, just don't quite get over the line. Some of them go non-league, as you know, and or completely walk away from football.
Yeah, and that's the thing, it's a real balance. I mean, some of the boys that I played with obviously went non-league. I still kind of play in the non-league system. I kind of went Braintree, Hitchin, sort of around there. And a lot of the boys that you find do, they play sort of Conference South and, you know, step 3 football. And I think what the good thing is because you're in your bubble at the time, you don't know there is a living to still be made at that level. And, you know, it's just kind of understanding that a bit more. But no, it's difficult, but yeah, it's part.
Is it true you played in the academy with Sancho and Eze?
Yeah, so Sancho was in my team. So he was a year younger than me at the time, but because he was always up, obviously through the age groups. And yeah, we went sort of to the Milk Cup over in Ireland and played. And yeah, he was always he left at about 15. That's when he went to City. Yeah, and then obviously went on to obviously do what he's done now. But yeah, he was always one that even if he wasn't playing well, we'd come up with an amazing goal and you think, how have you done? We're working really hard and you've just gone and done that. But no, he was brilliant. And yeah, Eze, we... You're
an Arsenal fan, so watching him now, having played with him.
Well, I don't... Someone posted a video on... I probably shouldn't say because I don't look great in the video, but there's a video of Eze scoring a goal against Watford, and I was unfortunately the midfielder that kind of let him go. When I watch it, I think the man should have covered me a little bit more. But so it is there if people want to find it.
Yeah.
My mate, thank for that one, sent me it the other week. But obviously see him at Arsenal now, and again, there's some players that come through that you don't always expect at the time. And
but people change with maturity. You know, go through the teenage years, and absolutely loads of players I knew. When I first started, I didn't make it initially. I came through the non-league model, but I played against players who were, and for players with me who were playing a much higher level than me, but ended up going, for whatever reason, going down.
And you're seeing that more now. You're seeing more sort of players sort of getting early men's football at 16, 17, coming through non-league and, you know, and playing that way because it helps their development a bit more.
Well, you enjoying Arsenal being top of the league?
I am, yeah. I'm not getting too carried away, but it was a good game yesterday.
Whilst you're here, you're going to sing for us today. This is your campaign to try and sing at the Emirates, okay?
Yes.
That would be nice. Sing North London Forever. I'm sure they'll get you there. Yeah. I'm joking. Max Ryan, Arsenal fan, former footballer himself. Here he is with Life Goes on Weekend Breakfast on talkSPORT.
It's actually Camino today.
Oh, it's Camino, right.
Camino.
Yeah. Give us a blast of Camino.
Yeah, give it now.
Camino, it means what?
Well, it's the EP. Life Goes is obviously part of the EP that we've just released, and Camino is the title track. So, yeah.
Can't wait to hear it. Take it away, please, Max.
It was pouring with rain outside, but somehow we didn't seem to mind. We were keeping so warm inside. You said this house on fire in Camino. How can we no right down, let me go? We were dancing into the noise. We were drinking to all that times. We chased someone who was alright. Inside and we made that noise in Camino. How can we no right down, let me go? Yes, darling, oh darling, I don't wanna go home. I don't wanna go home. Oh Camino, 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 oh
Fantastic.
Your voice is amazing.
Yes, absolutely. You must have took your guitar back on the bus when you're coming back from games.
I tell you what, there was a lot of warm up today on the tube. I must admit, getting going. But
no, fantastic stuff, and yeah.
What
really
brings
good.
more pressure, singing live on the radio or playing midfield against Abruzzese?
Yeah, probably the midfield one.
Well, you're absolutely brilliant. Max Ryan, where can we see you soon? And at
Yes.
Max Ryan Music on social media?
Yes, at Max Ryan Music. Our next gig is, we haven't sort of announced it, but it's in Hitchin, Club 85. It's our last one of the year, sort of the local show. So yeah, and then hopefully on tour next year. So it'd be good.
Thank you so much.
Really good. Great stuff.
Yeah, you've made our morning. Thank you so much for being with us.
Centre forward, midfielder, defender to a singer.
And a singer, yeah. I don't know where you go from there.
You go and you perform at the Emirates, okay?
Okay, that's the one.
I know Yannick who works at the Emirates. Yannick, if you're listening, this is Max Ryan. You should get him to perform.
See you soon.
You're listening
Guys,
to
thank you.
Weekend Breakfast here on talkSPORT. Coming up next, we'll discuss Rangers ahead of a huge game for Russell Martin in the Scottish Premiership this afternoon. Good morning. Good morning, welcome along to Weekend Sports Breakfast here on talkSPORT. Shebahn Aherne alongside former Republic of Ireland striker Tony Cascarino. He was good.
Yeah, but excellent. Yeah, really good stuff. And such an interesting story, Shebahn, isn't it? When you listen to a guy that's gone through the system at Watford, the academy, players he's played with, and, you know, it just shows you how tough it is, isn't it?
Absolutely. And then you also love to hear that he had his outlet, his other outlet to focus on if it didn't work in football. I mean, that's good to hear.
Yeah. we talked to him off air as well, and he seemed a really lovely chap as well.
Yeah.
So good luck to him. It's having that second career to fall back on. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, brilliant hearing the very talented Max Ryan this morning.
Yeah.
That's from Lee Seaholm. Thank you for getting in touch at Max Ryan if you want more of him on your social media today. Some of your headlines this morning: Harry Kane continued his scoring run as Bayern Munich defeated Eintracht Frankfurt 3-0 to stretch their lead at the top of the Bundesliga to 4 points. Cass predicts another league win and another golden boot.
It's not exactly rocket science, is it?
Yeah, fair play. Mercedes' George Russell stole the spotlight from the title contenders with a stunning pole position at the Singapore Grand Prix. And today, it's Brentford versus Manchester City in the Premier League. Pep Guardiola got a bit spiky in his press conference earlier on this week when asked about the importance of Rodri in this Man City side.
He obviously came off the other night and then you conceded that late equaliser. Are you able to replace him with just one player? Or when he's not in the 11?
Are you suggesting you score because Nico Gonzalez was in the pitch and not Rodri? How you know that? How you prove that?
I can't prove it.
Me neither. So change the subject.
But does Rodri's place in the team, is it possible to replace him with one man, or do you have to change the whole way you play?
We cannot play with 12. That's for sure. We cannot play with 12.
I'm sorry, that's just rude. That's rude from Pep.
It's a manager who isn't happy with the first question because of suggesting that because Rodri came off that you conceded that goal. Now, Pep would take offence to that because
he made the decision.
It's his decision. You have to be really careful sometimes when you ask managers questions, and it can. We now see a lot of managers, Shebahn, replying with a little bit of a taint of, being just not okay with the type of question, whether we like it or not. They get spiky.
I don't know who the reporter was. He's doing his job. Truth hurts, Pep. I mean, Rodri is your player. He's world class. He's a Ballon d'Or winner. He's been out for a while. The minute Rodri left the pitch with that ACL injury, things changed for Manchester City.
Yeah,
it's actually a compliment.
Yeah,
what is the problem with being asked that question? So rude.
No, I know. Look, but I remember the other week, Shebahn, I said about when the Moose asked Graham Potter a question.
Are you
direct.
right for the job still?
Yeah, sometimes you I don't know about easing in the question or framing the question slightly different.
Well,
okay. I think that's why they get a little bit feisty, because they sometimes look at the person looking and thinking, "Oh,
what do you know?
What qualifications you got to actually ask me a question like that?"
Yeah, but
I don't know. That's how they see it sometimes.
Yeah, basic manners though don't cost much.
Yeah, of course. But Pep gets spiky.
I know.
He's been very successful, and I remember Rory McIlroy answering a question. He was someone had asked him a question and given him a piece of advice, and he said, "Why would I listen to an 18 handicap golfer?"
Yeah.
And it was like, it's true. Why would I? But there is a nicer way to say that.
Maybe. We all have off days, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, let's look ahead to what's happening in the Scottish Premiership. Hearts did not have an off game yesterday. They scored in the dying moments to go 5 points clear at the top of the SPL. Today there's focus on Celtic and Rangers. Celtic are at home to Motherwell, 3 o'clock. All the updates coming for you on talkSPORT. And Rangers are away to Falkirk. Russell Martin, fresh off the back of a win for Rangers in the week, here to look forward to this game is former Rangers keeper Cammy Bell. Hi, Cammy.
Hi, Cammy.
Morning, Shebahn. Morning, Tony. Okay?
Yeah, we're good. Cammy, always a dangerous scenario, isn't it, when you're playing the team second from bottom, away from home, Falkirk, and there's been enormous pressure on Rangers manager Russell Martin.
Yeah, listen, there's enormous pressure, as you said, for Russell Martin's job at the moment. I think any game that Rangers are facing at this moment in time, there's severe pressure on them. We all know the unrest, the toxicity around the Rangers at this moment in time. So, yeah, listen, this is a big game for Russell Martin today. Again, another disappointing European night against Sturm Graz on Thursday, 2-1 defeat. Yes, they had that win on Sunday against Livingston, last-minute goal from Max Aarons, but it's certainly been far from rosy at Ibrox this season, and the fans are really there's an unrest about the whole fan situation at the moment. They're not happy with the way things are going, and they've certainly voiced their opinion as well.
What did you make of the performance in Europe in midweek? Because Russell Martin was quite complimentary about the way the team, application and desire they showed. What did you make of it, Cammy?
Yeah, listen, there was a slight improvement, but nowhere near the standards that Rangers expect at their football club. Again, saying application, desire, that for me is standard. That should be every single game. I still think they look very, very vulnerable defensively. I mean, they conceded them 2 goals and they were up against it. And Russell Martin said that in his interview. He said, look, we conceded 2 goals and it's a mountain to climb. Of course it is, but they've done that time and time again. They don't start playing until they're behind. Again, the goals they're conceding are really, really poor and soft. They're gifts to opposition. But again, I just go back to the amount of opportunities they're given the opposition. So many opportunities that, again, they will eventually score goals. And when you play these better teams, and I wouldn't say Sturm Graz are anywhere near a European giant, so they're teams that Rangers should be looking to go and beat. So for me, it was another disappointing night for Rangers in Europe.
Yeah, and then you go back obviously to the weekend. It was good to see Russell Martin smiling for a brief moment, getting a win against Levy. But he mentioned midweek that this is still a mentality problem for his players. It's not technical or tactical. Do you agree with that, Cammy?
You say brief, Shebahn. It was very, very brief because, again, I think it was 13 seconds after they scored the winner in the last minute of a game to win a game. The fans then chanted for Russell Martin to get sacked. So, again, that just shows you where Rangers fans are at with the manager at this moment in time. So, again, touching on the tactical side of things, I think it is to do with tactics. I really do. I genuinely don't see the style of play that he's implementing. When Rangers, if you watched the game on Sunday against Livingston, they played much better when they played in the opposition half. And that sounds very, very simple, playing the opposition's half. But Rangers like to pass out from the back. They like to build it through the third. And I don't think they're good at it. I really don't. I think they put themselves under pressure. Teams have identified that. Press them high, steal the ball high up the pitch. And again, that's where I alluded to before. They give up so many opportunities. And that's genuinely because they're trying to play this style of football that they can't really do. And again, I would say on Sunday, when they looked their most threatening, was the last 15 minutes when balls were just getting put into Livingston's box and they eventually got the breakthrough. But yeah, I think there's got to be a tactical element about it. I mean, the amount of wins that they've got this season, 1 win in the league, is nowhere near good enough. So, yeah, he's got to take some responsibility for it.
Cammy, is that the reason why Hearts are top of the league? Because they're a way more simple type of style under McGuinness and how they play? And look, you're seeing 2 clubs, Celtic and Rangers, both attract over 50,000 fans every week. And certainly don't have the financial muscle to be challenging in Europe, but not really even having Hearts top at this early stage of the season, which could mean nothing by the end, but just sees that Hearts are more of a simpler type of team, the way they play?
Listen, they play at their strengths. That's what they do, Tony. I think Derek McInnes is a very good manager. He sets his teams up not to concede goals and give himself a platform to go and win the game. And they've got guys like Shankland at the top end of the pitch who can score goals. So I think they're a good side. They've got good footballing players, but also they know where to play. They play in the right areas of the pitch for me. They don't overplay at the back. They've got defenders, Stuart Finlay, Craig Halkett, who scored the winner yesterday, who are defenders who defend. They don't want to play out from the back, but they're excellent at defending. So I just think they play to their strengths, and it's absolutely, they're reaping the benefits from it just now. They look a very, very strong team and a hard team to beat.
Cammy, who's going to win the league?
For me at this moment, I think Celtic have got to still be favourites for the league. Yes, they're having a sticky moment at this moment in time, but I think they've got the quality. I think Hearts will have a very good season, but maybe this is just season too early for them to go and really challenge. Okay.
Cammy Bell, former Rangers keeper, thank you so much for your time this morning. Good luck today.
Cheers, Cammy.
Cheers, guys.
Not too much good luck, Cammy. I'll speak to you a little bit later on. Celtic host Motherwell today at Parkhead, and Rangers are away to Falkirk looking for their second win in the league. All of the updates coming for you here on talkSPORT. The Hearts, 5 points clear. Who'd have thought? Honestly, when you look at them this time last season and towards the end of last season, it's crazy what a turnaround.
Yeah.
Fair play to Derek McInnes and the team. You listen to Weekend Breakfast here on talkSPORT. We're going to be taking your calls soon. Liverpool fans, are you frightened now? The title challenge has been derailed. 03717 223344. Is this just a blip, or are you genuinely concerned about your title hopes? Still to come, we're going to discuss Palace with former Eagle Dean Gordon and look ahead to a huge game in the northeast as Newcastle take on Nottingham Forest. This is Weekend Sports Breakfast here on talkSPORT.
Tyson Fury, Floyd Mayweather, Canelo Alvarez. Just hearing these names makes you think money and the hundreds of millions of dollars, pounds or Saudi riyals in boxing. But that's at the top. At the bottom, it isn't quite the same. Even for those on the rise, there's not an awful lot of cash in the boxing world. And if you're just starting out, well, it can be a very costly exercise indeed. But don't take my word for it. Here's the former European champion, talkSPORT's Spencer Oliver.
You're turning professional and you're boxing, let's say, York Hall on a non-televised fight. You have to sell tickets to earn any money, but you have to cover the wages of your opponent as well. So if you don't have the ability to be able to sell enough tickets, you effectively have to pay to fight.
A far cry then from Jake Paul facing Mike Tyson in 2024, when the purse was reported to be around £48 million. But the vast amounts of cash lining the top dog's pockets isn't the norm in a typical fight.
Let's say you're lucky and you get between 5 and 10 grand. You're going to get 10 grand max for that. 10% goes to the trainer, 25% goes to the manager. Then we've got the tax man to pay as well. So we're cutting that money in at least half. So now you've got 5 grand for a 10-week camp. So you're talking about a guy here earning, he might be clearing 500 quid a week. How do you support a family on that? So boxers chase the dream. And, you know, there's probably 2% of them that actually make it.
So say you do make it and you start to rise up the ranks. Strikers Boxing, a training academy, says the mid-tier fighters can earn more, somewhere between £10,000 and £50,000 a fight, depending on record, profile, opponent and popularity of weight class. It's only at the top level does the real cash start flowing in, with the top tier professionals, i.e. those going for titles, earning 6 figures a fight. Something else you'll have heard of is the terms prize fighter or journeyman. A prize fighter is, as it sounds, someone who picks up fights where they can and gets a nice big check if they win. Journeymen are the fighters who take on up-and-comers, effectively used for experience in the ring. Even if they're going up against a real prospect, a young Anthony Joshua, for example, these guys will be lucky to earn more than 10 grand. So the average boxer isn't as rich as you'd think.
Good morning, welcome along to Weekend Sports Breakfast here on talkSPORT. If you're lying in your bed this Sunday morning, switch on your smart TV, or you can stream us on the YouTube channel as well at talkSPORT. It's Shebahn Aherne alongside former Millwall and Chelsea striker Tony Cascarino. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Lots you're waking up to today for the second time in just a week. Liverpool suffered defeats in the last minute.
It's a winner for Chelsea. Chelsea 2, Liverpool 1, and it's Esteval who has won it.
Tony Cascarino was at the bridge to see Esteval slide one in at the back post as Chelsea ended their Premier League run with a brilliant victory over Liverpool. 5 games to come today in the Premier League. Will Ange Postecoglou get his first win in charge of Forest away at Newcastle?
I knew I was getting sacked at Tottenham about 3 or 4 months before I did. It didn't stop me winning something. It doesn't enter my head. My responsibility lies in making sure this football club progresses and gets to a position where it can challenge for things.
And after dropping points midweek in the Champions League, will Pep Guardiola's City take out frustrations on Brentford?
I like when they are like this, so like feelings about the teams when it's bad in front of you, I don't like to express it. I like to have it with me, with my team, with my players. In the basement.
It's the late kick-off, 4:30 this afternoon. Updates on Game Day Live with Sam Matterface, based at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium ahead of the first NFL game for them this season. Lots coming up for you on the Weekend Sports Breakfast here on talkSPORT. Good morning. Good morning. If you have just joined us, we've been here for the last couple of hours, and over the last few weeks actually, our Tony has been expressing his concern about Liverpool. And yesterday I watched the game. Throughout the game I was thinking about you. I was thinking, he's right about that, he's right about that.
Well, I think a lot of Liverpool fans had not been blown away by the start of how well Liverpool had gone. 5 games undefeated. You know, I said earlier they've conceded 2 goals 5 times this season so far. You can add the Community Shield in there, it's 6, because they conceded 2 against Palace in the Community Shield. So I think even diehard Liverpool fans have realised that getting away with it. We were getting away with it. No, there was no doubt in my mind. I watch games and there's something... When the very biggest clubs get a lot of points, which they normally do, that you have to have performance as well. Liverpool's performances, there's been a lot of players, I say a number of players at Liverpool who are not performing to the levels of last season.
What or who are they missing?
Well, first of all, they're missing performance from McAllister. They're missing the performance from Salah, who are, 2 vital players to the way that Liverpool play. I think Konate's another player. He's not playing as well as last season by a long way. Then you've had the loss of the 2 fullbacks. Now, Conor Bradley can become a really good player for Liverpool. I love he's a tenacious, he's got a lot of speed about him, he's feisty as a footballer, but he's being reckless in his play. So Liverpool's best player, if you'd have said who's been Liverpool's best player, up until obviously didn't play yesterday, was Alisson. Mm-hmm. So if Alisson's your best player and he's your goalkeeper, that's telling you you're not as good defensively, even though you've conceded a number of goals.
We can hear from the manager now. Arne Slot said that side have to start taking their chances.
So then it's been a tough week and a disappointing week. But the only thing I can ask from the players is that they give everything they have. That's what they did last week in the second half performance against Palace. We were so much stronger than them. We created so many chances. The Galatasaray game was a different type of game. I think in the second half there was hardly any playing time, so we didn't create that much in the second part, but we just kept trying. And today I saw, in a very difficult away game, a Liverpool team that created more chances than Chelsea did. But football is not about creating chances. Football is about scoring them. And another time we were on the wrong side of the score.
Yeah, fair. He's making sense there, no?
Yeah, I mean, I look, Mo Salah had a few chances that he's finishing. Like I said earlier, the old proverbial can't hit barn door at the moment is, and Mo Salah's been a fantastic player for Liverpool. His goal record is extraordinary. I'm not undermining in any way because he's a fabulous talent. But Mo's not playing to the level we know he's capable of.
Does Slot just need an international break now to sort things right out? Or do you think there's genuine concerns about the title challenge?
Well, what you do have in front of you is the biggest game of the season, is Manchester United at home. So that in itself will motivate the players, and you've been on a bad run. They've gone 3 defeats on the spin. So with that, you don't need to do too much. You need to just get yourself players, have good, obviously you lose a lot of players. At big clubs, they lose lots of players to international duty. So it's when you get them back, hopefully they survive, without any injury scares. But there's issues at Liverpool, especially defensively.
Good to see United bounce back yesterday. 2-0 against Sunderland. By the way, the first half they were brilliant. Laman's the keeper. Good debut. First clean sheet of the season, maybe.
Made a good few saves as well.
Absolutely, he did. We can look ahead to some of the games this afternoon as well. Let's focus on Everton versus Crystal Palace at Hill Dickinson. Palace, the last unbeaten team in the Premier League this season. The brilliant stats on Crystal Palace just keep coming and coming. Happy to say with us now, former Palace defender, Dean Gordon. Good morning, Dean.
Hi, Dean.
Good morning, Tony and Shebahn. How you doing?
Yeah, we're very
astounded, really. Dean, I've got to be honest with you. Palace keep going by week. We keep making these numbers. I'll say making these numbers up, but telling all the stats and data, and this team just keeps carrying on.
Yeah, Oliver Glasner's done fantastic with the team. They've brought over the confidence from the end of last season, winning the FA Cup, which nobody expected them to do. They've come into this season just as strong, into the Conference League, and I think everybody's expecting them to slip up at some stage, and they're just going on from strength to strength. Beat Liverpool last week, and then midweek they go to Dynamo Kiev, a very, very tough place to go, get a 2-0 win, and then they go into Everton today, which is obviously going to be a tough game at their new stadium, the Hill Dickinson. But, Oliver's got the team playing in a formation that's causing teams problems. They're keeping lots of clean sheets. I think they've had 3 clean sheets in the Premier League this season so far. And, they're scoring goals. Adam Wharton in midfield is doing fantastically well. But that if the country, everybody's talking about Oliver Glasner possibly going to Manchester United, he's obviously doing very well. He's got the team into a formation that everybody's comfortable with. Defensively, like I said, they're sound. And they're just going on strength to strength. So hopefully it will continue. And I'm sure the fans are in a place that they've never been before. The club is making historic strides forwards. The first major trophy, and I think they're building a new stand as well, which has been a long time coming.
Dean, sorry, I was going to ask you, Dean. I was saying yesterday, look, the Glasner situation is a problem because you've got a quality manager there. And my answer to that was, well, why don't they just try and offer him like a top 4 Premier League manager's wages? Just to say to him, like, we think you're one of the best. We want to keep you. And just try and tempt him, because there have been managers like, i.e. Brian Clough at Nottingham Forest and many others along the way that have overachieved with a football club, and the vultures are hanging over your manager. Now, he's the most important cog at Crystal Palace. So I would say, did like you did with Zaha, you kept him for a number of years by overpaying him the wages of a top 4 player. Can you do the same with the manager?
I'm sure you can. I think they should put him on a new contract, keep him there, and let him know that he's obviously respected and wanted at the football club. He can keep the club moving in the right direction. And like you say, the vultures are hanging around him at the moment. And with what's happening at Manchester United, his name has been brought up a few times. But I think he should stay at the club, being a Palace lad, brought up and born and bred in the local area. I think the club should do everything they can to keep him.
Let's just focus on the game this afternoon at Hill Dickinson against Everton. How do you see this one going?
Well, Everton are strong at their new stadium. They've got some fantastic players. Grealish has come into the club from Manchester City, doing fantastically well. I've watched him a couple of times in the last few days, and he looks very, very strong. You've got Dewsbury Hall was coming from Chelsea. Yeah. He's doing excellent. Gay in midfield, Beto up front. So David Moyes, again, is another fantastic manager who's getting the best out of his players. Palace will go there full of confidence. Like I say, very strong defensively. I think it'd be a good game. I've got Palace down to win that one.
Okay.
I think it's more likely going to be a draw. I just hope they can avoid defeat, but I think Palace could get something. I think they're riding so high at the moment. I think they'll cause Everton a few problems, and Glasner will pull out his magic like he's been doing the last few weeks. So it'll be a good game to watch.
It will be. Former Palace defender Dean Gordon, thank you so much for your time this morning. We appreciate you coming on.
Cheers,
Dean. Thanks. Have a good day.
All the best to you. 19 games unbeaten, Cass. It's
unbelievable.
Becoming ridiculous.
Yeah, and you still look at the core of their team. It's a really good side. Just from the goalkeeper to right through to the centre forward.
And Mateta getting his first call up for the national team.
Yeah, delighted for him.
At 28, absolutely brilliant.
And deserves it.
Yeah, good luck to Everton as well. There's a lot of focus on Palace at the moment. We're talking about them all the time. They deserve it. All the updates coming from Hill Dickinson today on Game Day Live with Sam Matterface from 1:30. Kickoff is at 2. You're listening to the Weekend Breakfast here on talkSPORT. Coming up next, we'll get the latest odds with Coro, and we'll speak to former Newcastle midfielder Lee Clark as well.
am a nightmare dressed like a daydream. So it's gonna be forever, or it's gonna go down in flames. You can tell me when it's over, if the high was worth the pain.
Good morning, welcome along to Weekend Breakfast here on talkSPORT. It's Shebahn Aherne alongside former Chelsea and Villa striker Tony Cascarino, also the best at poker in the talkSPORT Tower. Coming up for you here on talkSPORT today, you've got a cracker, the Sunday edition here at 9 o'clock with Henry and Sean Custis today. No, it's Faye with us today. But why are we playing Taylor Swift?
I don't know.
Take a wild guess.
Super Bowl? Oh no, it's way later on in the year.
No, but I'm thinking you're on to
American.
something.
No, there's American football at Spurs, isn't there? Is that the reason?
It's our fiancé Travis Kelce's birthday.
Oh.
She made him famous, let's not
I
forget.
didn't know that is his birthday. Is there an American football game on Spurs? Was that last week?
You know, it's today. It's
Oh,
today.
right.
Sam Matterface is there. But I actually think we're on to something with Taylor Swift. She's got to be the halftime show at the Super Bowl. Surely it's her time.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, as long as his team isn't in it, then there'll be a bit of bias.
It's Bad Bunny. Who's Bad Bunny?
Yes, Bad Bunny.
Who is Bad Bunny?
He doesn't sing in English either, does he? Bad Bunny.
Brilliant. Well, why is he called Bad Bunny then?
I don't know, but I know he doesn't sing in English.
Oh.
He's Puerto Rican or something like that, isn't he?
He is Puerto Rican. How'd you know this?
I'm down with the kids. Huh?
One of them.
And I didn't need it. Look, so top of my head, I just knew that Bad Bunny was a Puerto Rican that didn't sing in English.
Cass isn't a Swiftie, he's a Bad Bunny. You're a bad bunny.
I've been called worse than that.
And he's dead right as well. The NFL is back in London. talkSPORT 2 today, live commentary of all three games in the series starting as the Cleveland Browns take on the Minnesota Vikings. Tottenham Hotspur Stadium today. It's going to be live over on talkSPORT 2 with Will Gavin and NFL Daily's Greg Rosenthal and former NFL scout Ollie Conley over on talkSPORT 2 with all of the action from the NFL today. And it's time now to get the latest odds with Coral.
The Coral Daily Download on talkSPORT, brought to you by Coral, the home of a free-to-play Golden Rewards Shaker. 18 plus max 1 reward per player per selected Shaker day, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Restrictions and T's and C's apply. Gambleaware.org.
And have we got a Bad Bunny or a Swiftie in Simon Clare? I'm going to go for Bad Bunny.
Oh, you got it wrong. I'm a bit of a Swiftie, actually. I went and saw Taylor Swift a couple of times greedily last summer, who was absolutely fantastic, I've got to say. But listen, I didn't have time to talk about the American football, but I did quickly search for the odds, given lots of talkSPORT listeners will be tuning in this evening. Yep. And the Vikings are 1-2, and the Browns are 13-8 second favourites. That's all I know, because I'm not a great American football fan.
Simon, I don't want to know the odds to the winning the title of the Premier League. Okay, so we go straight to the matches today.
Well, I think we should just briefly mention the odds on the Premier League title race, Cass. Arsenal have just gone odds on 10-11 favourites, which for an Arsenal fan is a lot of pressure. Liverpool out to 11-4 after another disappointing results yesterday. 4-1 Manchester City and Chelsea at 25-1. We'll come to the Palace game, but they are actually 66-1 for the title, and they're only behind Arsenal, Liverpool, City, Chelsea, and Spurs in the title betting.
There you go. My God, does that ease any?
Pain, no. Come on, what's the best of the rest then? Because we got Everton, got Crystal Palace today, and there's 5 fixtures. So go run through them for us, Simon.
Well, I thought Everton Palace is a great game. Obviously, Palace on this incredible run. They're 15-8 away. I did check. Everton, obviously, early stages. They've yet to be beaten, obviously, at the Hill Dickinson. They're 6-4 favourites in the game. 11-5 the draw. Grealish omitted from the England squad. He's been in great form. He's 4-1 to get 1 or more assists today, which I didn't think was the worst price in the world. So I think that's probably one of the more interesting games. Let's just pick another couple out. I mean, Brentford City. I mean, Manchester City, obviously, they'll have also celebrated Liverpool's defeat, just to rub more salt in your wounds there, Cass. And it seems to be getting back on track with Foden, again omitted from the England side, on fire. They're 8-13 away to Brentford, who are 4-1 at home, 130 the draw. Do you think that's going to be a tough one for Brentford, or could this be another turn
Yes, I do think it'll be a tough game for Brentford. And also, price of Haaland to score the first goal. It's probably going to be one of the shortest ever, I would imagine.
4-5. He's 4-5 to score first. Yeah. And
Has anyone ever shorter than that?
Sorry. Absolute nonsense. He's 4-5 to score today. So
right.
I actually sold you a pup there. I'll quickly get Foden. I picked these out: 4-5 Haaland to score at any time, 5-2 Foden to score at any time. But in terms of the
best goal scorer.
Yes, okay, I'm coming to it.
I'll give you. So
it's 3-1.
I was going to
say 3-1.
I was going to say 15-8. So.
Well, he's 3-1. Is he? So
well, that's not bad.
There you are. You thought it'd be short. God, you're really testing my keyboard skills.
You like that, Simon?
I do. I love the pressure.
He gets like this when his team loses 3 in a row, Simon. It's not just don't take it personally.
No.
What about Big Ange? Can he go and get a result today? His first win as the Forest manager at St James Park?
Yeah, it's going to be tough. So much pressure for poor old Ange. They're 9-2 away from home. 3-1 the draw. Really tough place to go, St James's Park on a Sunday. Newcastle 4-7 to win this. They had a good result during the week. Forest now 3. It's incredible when you think of this time last year. We were almost starting to think, could they get into sort of Champion League spots? They faded towards the end of the season. They're now 3-1 in the relegation betting, with only 4 teams shorter than them in the betting. So God, and of course they've got a European campaign to carry on playing through. So tough times at Forest.
Yeah, you got Fulham are visiting. Oh, sorry, they're going to Aston Villa. Aston Villa have had a few wins on the spin, which is nice. John McGinn back on form, taking on Fulham today.
Burnley.
Burnley.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Sorry. You and
Burnley.
We're both falling apart. Burnley are 9-2 away from home, 4-7 Villa, 3-1 the draw. Villa finally ending that goal drought. Probably turned the corner, haven't they? Back on song. Burnley, the shortest price in the relegation betting at the moment, at 1-3. Albeit, that just shows you how tough it is down there, because they're not playing terribly, but they could do the result.
Absolutely. We've got racing, the Prix de l'Arc de Triomphe, and the Singapore Grand Prix as well today, Simon.
Yeah, loads of sport to enjoy on the sofa, which is where I'm going to be. This is a huge day for racing. The Arc de Triomphe at Longchamp in Paris is actually the richest race in Europe. It's €5 million. Mini Hawk, the Aidan O'Brien filly who won the Oaks, is favourite there, 7-2, ridden by the brilliant Belgian Christophe Soumillon, but a host of good horses in there. The leading English-trained hope is Calpana from the Andrew Balding yard, with the famous Judd Monty silk sported by the likes of Dancing Brave and Frankel. She's got to have a great chance. And there's 3 really good Japanese horses. 2 of them have been drawn really badly, unfortunately. The Japanese have searched for years to win the Arc de Triomphe, yet to do it. Could one of Byzantine Prince, Alohi Ala, or Quadanor win today? It'd be great if they could. And then the Singapore Grand Prix. Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri having a nightmare in qualifying. They're out in the betting. Max Verstappen sitting in second spot. He's even money to win it. And George Russell on pole from nowhere. The Mercedes team having a great qualifying yesterday. He's 6-4. So it looks like good race to tune into and watch.
Absolutely. Right, Simon, we'll let you get back to your Taylor Swift album. Enjoy your Sunday.
Thank you. Take care.
Take care. That was a look ahead. The latest odds with Coral, 18+, begambleaware.org, and please gamble responsibly.
The Coral Daily Download on talkSPORT. Brought to you by Coral, the home of a free-to-play Golden Rewards Shaker. 18+ max 1 reward per player per selected Shaker day. 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Restrictions and T's and C's apply. Gambleaware.org.
If you're listening on the talkSPORT app right now, you can swipe across to talkSPORT 2. It's the NRL Grand Final between Melbourne Storm and Brisbane Broncos. You can listen to that right now. Stay with us if you fancy it, talking about Forest, their trip to Newcastle, a massive game for Ange Postecoglou. Forest fans, have you seen enough? Are you prepared to give Ange more time and maybe get a trophy in a second season? 03717 22 3344. It's Weekend Breakfast on talkSPORT. Stop it. Good morning. This is Weekend Breakfast here on talkSPORT.
Bad Bunny.
You're pure Bad Bunny on the brain over there.
Yeah, no, I just heard about the story and I read a little.
To be fair, this does sound like a tune, but I've never heard it before. I just didn't think he was halftime Super Bowl.
He speaks English as well, but he doesn't sing in English. Well, he might have done some songs, but he's renowned for doing not an English version,
okay.
Which seems a bit strange if you're doing the Super Bowl.
So impressed with your knowledge here on this Puerto Rican rapper. It's very impressive. So this is the guy who's going to be doing the halftime show. Apparently he's even been hammered about it in the US. People saying, why is he doing the halftime show?
You get hammered on anything in the US, didn't you?
This is true. I mean, to be fair,
Ryder Cup team.
Sums it all up. Bad Bunny in the Super Bowl. I was expecting it to be Taylor Swift. I'm disappointed.
Well, that is obviously probably further down the line, but of course Taylor Swift would do it. All the major stars have done, or a lot of them have done it.
What's been your best halftime show?
Oh,
you don't watch them, do you?
Just off the top of my head. What? Anywhere?
No, the halftime show at the Super Bowl.
Oh, I haven't watched enough. I mean, Michael Jackson's done it. Oh, Prince. I think Prince was probably the most outstanding one I would have said.
Sometimes Jamie and I just drink wine and watch halftime Super Bowl show highlights. That's what we do.
I enjoyed Diana Ross when she missed the penalty. Do you remember when she took the penalty kick?
They don't do him like that anymore. Don't have fun with that. This is Bad Bunny. This is Bad Bunny. He's going to be doing the halftime show then. Yeah. At the next Super Bowl, when is that? February? Something like that?
Yeah, it's always the start of the year, sort of end of Jan, Feb, isn't it?
We've got it all live for you on talkSPORT 2. The action at the Spurs Stadium today is live on talkSPORT 2 for you as well. And also coming up for you on the talkSPORT network today. 9 o'clock, straight after us. It's the Sunday edition with Faye Carruthers and Henry Winter before the warm-up with Max and Barry at 11 o'clock. It's the Old Farm Derby over on talkSPORT 2. Ipswich take on Norwich at 12 o'clock. And then, like we say, NFL from Spurs, Minnesota Vikings take on the Cleveland Browns from 2 o'clock, talkSPORT 2. 1:30 here on talkSPORT. We go around the grounds with all of the goals as they go in from the Prem, the Champ, the WSL and beyond. And then Majestic and Alan Pardew are taking your calls on the final word at 6:30 this evening. Will it be happy or raging Forest fans? You can get your calls in to the guys 0371722 3344, and then it's Trans Euro Express. It's seeing you through your Sunday evening. Another busy day. We have you covered here on talkSPORT. Weekend breakfast here at Shebahn Tony Cascarino, one of the 5 Premier League games to get into today. Aston Villa hosting Burnley. We can hear now from Abigail Davis, who's watching this one for talkSPORT today.
Aston Villa are unbeaten in their last 16 Premier League matches against newly promoted sides, but after a lacklustre start to the campaign where goals were hard to come by, this afternoon they're looking to make it 4 wins on the spin when they take on a Burnley side yet to pick up a single point away from home this season. How influential can Jadon Anthony be for the visitors? He's been their standout performer so far in terms of attacking threat. Well, kick-off is at 2 p.m. here at Villa Park.
It's a tough one, isn't it, for Burnley today? Aston Villa finding a bit of form. Yeah,
and especially, like I said earlier, John McGinn getting back on form with a few good, important goals. John's a big player for them, and he was I saw him earlier in the season, a little bit off, but hopefully he's back to his best because he's a handful.
Yeah.
You know, he's a good leader for Villa.
Good to see him scoring goals as well in his three glasses celebration. Good luck to both teams today. Have fun if you're going to that game. Villa Burnley. We'll have all the updates with you on Abby live on talkSPORT from game day. From 1:30 kickoff is at 2. Also today, Newcastle take on Nottingham Forest. That's at St James's Park. The Magpies picked up a huge win midweek in the Champions League. They were absolutely brilliant, while Forest looking to finally claim a win under Ange Postecoglou. Here to look forward to that game with us, former Newcastle midfielder Lee Clark. Good morning, Lee.
Hiya, Lee.
Morning, Shebahn. Morning, Tony.
You okay? All good?
Very good, thank you. Looking forward to the game.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's been a funny start because I feel like Newcastle in a little bit of a false position, Lee, because they've played some tough games, but you're seeing them down in 15th at the moment in the table.
Yeah, that's right, Tony. I mean, been a bit stop-start with the late additions in the transfer window. Couple of those getting injured, Jacob Ramsey, and then we've had the news this week as well that Johan Vissa's going to be out for a little bit longer, which is a blow to us. Obviously, Nick Faltamade coming in late in the window, just getting up to speed. So, but as Shebahn said there earlier, outstanding on Wednesday evening in the Champions League away from home, 4-0. You know, looked a really good team, and hopefully they can take that in, kick-start the Premier League campaign this afternoon.
Yeah, and look, they're up against a Forest team as well that have been really struggling. Change of manager already, and a team that weren't conceding goals last year, and under Ange are conceding a lot.
Yeah, I think, you know, you still got to respect your opponent, obviously, but they're in a tough run of form. So if we can start the game well and get after them, you know, gives ourselves a chance. There is a little bit of pressure coming on there, apparently, with, you know, the manager not winning, and we know that the owner's quite impatient there in football terms. So, you know, it's a good opportunity for us to get our season up and running, really.
Yeah, what have you made of Nick Faltamade? Because
so good.
I saw him quite a bit, and I always felt you're quite surprised when you watch him, because he's the ability to dribble past people as well. Someone of 6'6" and can do the, you know, you feed it into him and he'll then carry the ball. Does that really well, Lee? Yeah,
it's a funny one, Tony, because about just over a year ago, my son, who was at Red Bull Salzburg at the time, he pointed it out. Dad watched this player playing for Stuttgart, so I started watching them, and I seen this unbelievable 6'6" footballer with a touch of an angel. His touch was beautiful. And then I watched him in the Euros under 21s, where he ended up being the top goal scorer. So when we were getting knocked back left, right and centre on attacking players and strikers, especially in the summer, then it broke that we were doing this deal. I was very, very excited, because I know that this guy's got a huge ceiling. And I think, you know, 3 goals and 4 starts. You've been a striker, you know them type of numbers are brilliant. And I just think that his general play is fantastic. He comes into those little pockets. He likes to come deep and link the play up. But with, you know, Elanga and Gordon in midweek, they were outstanding. So I think we've got one of the best managers in the business for developing players. And I think this lad's got loads more development in him, and he's only going to get better and better. He's a different player. We have to change the way we play this year compared to what we were like with Isak last year. And we have to evolve and change the way because of how he does. Yeah. And I'm looking forward to them, Johan Visser being available and having the two of them together. That could be an exciting partnership.
You took the words, Lee, right out of my mouth, because one thing you can say, you can put them two together, because he will drop deep. And then you've got Visser beyond him, who's quick, and he's like Ian Wright for me. He's got that tenacious ability to keep going and running in areas and getting decent amount of goals. So I think that's another great option that you've mentioned for Newcastle, if needed.
Yeah, I think they'll complement each other brilliantly. I think, like you've mentioned there, Tony, they have different strengths that will be, you know, good for the team. Him coming into the little pockets, Faltamade, Visser running behind. He's got experience in the Premier League as well, and he's scored goals regular. So it's just been a bit bad luck that we haven't been able to see him yet. And then obviously we've got, come December, he's disappearing to the African nations. So it's a tough one for us.
It's interesting just looking at Newcastle on the table, Lee. I mean, sitting 15th on 6 points. Like I say, it's so positive midweek, and hopefully they can kick on that. But you look at these clubs like Crystal Palace, like Bournemouth. I mean, Newcastle have been in their shoes, being the surprise package team, you know, of the last couple of seasons. And Eddie Howe's a great manager. But what do you think will be the ambition this season?
Him again, Shebahn. I think we've got to be looking to have a good Champions League run, do well in the Cups again, and I think Eddie's proved that. The team he sent out against Bradford in the Carabao Cup was very, very strong. So he's looking at getting to another cup final, be the Carabao or the FA Cup, and also going to challenge to get back in the Champions League. The fans love the trips. It's brilliant up here when you're in over in Brussels. They only got just over 1,000 tickets, but I think there was about 10,000 Newcastle fans in Brussels, so they love the trips. I just think it's just been a slow burner because of different things. I mean, 2 hard games against Liverpool and Arsenal at home, and just come up a little bit short in those, but I think we can get the season up and running.
Yeah, I mean, it's still early days, isn't it?
Well, you scared both of them. You know, Newcastle put the frighteners on Liverpool, certainly, and Arsenal, I felt.
Yeah, absolutely, Tony. I don't think we fear anyone. You know, we've got a manager who likes to play on the front foot. He wants to go at opponents home or away. we've got a really good squad. I believe when everyone's fit, we've got a strong squad, a stronger squad than we had last season. So yeah, I'm positive. I just think it's just been a slow start because of various different reasons, injuries, players coming in late in the window, etc., etc. But I think I'm looking forward to the rest of the season.
It's against Nottingham Forest today. Can I just get your thoughts, Lee, on Ange Postecoglou?
My thoughts, obviously, are that I like him. I think, he says he's a winner, and his track record proves that. Wherever he's been, he's won trophies. He plays a completely different way to that previous manager, so they could be finding that hard. As Tony mentioned, they were really hard to beat last year, didn't concede a lot, but with Ange wanting to play high tempo, high pressing, high line, they've conceded a few goals since he's come in. So there's a change in mentality that takes a while for the players. But as I said earlier, that I don't think he's working for an owner who's very patient. So there could be an issue there if he doesn't start getting results.
Yeah, Lee, you're right about that. Lee Clark, former midfielder for Newcastle. Thank you so much for your time this morning. Enjoy the game.
Cheers, Lee.
Thank you.
All the best, Lee. Love his accent.
Yes.
Marinakis, his face midweek. Oh, he's fuming, wasn't he?
Well, I've said it many a time. You have an owner that, okay, you can say wears his heart on his sleeve and he's going to let everybody know exactly what he thinks. And he's got his rights to a degree, but I think there's times when he undermines the manager, and that would be concerning.
You knew what you were getting into when you hired Ange Postecoglou. You should know that. All the updates coming from St James's Park today. Newcastle take on Nottingham Forest. Game day live on talkSPORT, keeping you across everything. And over on talkSPORT 2, it's the Old Farm Derby this afternoon. We're going to look ahead to that with former Norwich striker Paul McVeigh next. A very good morning. How are you getting on this Sunday? You're listening to Weekend Breakfast here on talkSPORT. Shebahn Aherne and former Chelsea and Villa striker Tony Cascarino. Waking up to some sad news this morning. Milan Mandaric, the former Portsmouth, Leicester City and Sheffield Wednesday owner, has sadly died at the age of 87. Harry Redknapp, who was with Mandaric at Portsmouth, has paid tribute with talkSPORT.
Milan came in, I was managing at West Ham, and then the club, obviously Portsmouth, were going out of business. The doors were locked and everything. And I first met Milan back in the 70s in America. He owned the San Jose Earthquakes, and he was the youngest owner in the North American Soccer League. He was a businessman of the year, and he was only in his 30s, a real charismatic character. And he owned a football club out there, and he absolutely loved football. He was football crazy, you know. And then suddenly he appeared, at Portsmouth, and sort of saved the club. Basically, they say the doors were locked, the doors were chained up, and he came in and took the club over, and had a few years. Then eventually he came and asked me if I would go to Portsmouth with him after I'd left West Ham, which I did, and had such an amazing time. The first year there, we won the championship and we got promoted for the first time to the Premier League, and we just had an incredible year. Really, we had a love-hate relationship. We had great times together. We'd have arguments and then we'd make up and be best pals again. But I loved him. I loved his company. He loved football. He absolutely loved football, and he'd go to watch any game, and his love of Portsmouth was incredible. And the fans, they would sing, Milan, there's only one Milan, and he loved it. The crowd would sing to him. I've never heard a crowd ever sing to a chairman for 90 minutes, and that's what they used to do to Milan. That's how much they thought of him.
Harry Redknapp paying tribute to Milan Mandaric on talkSPORT. Yeah, incredibly loved by the Portsmouth fans.
Exactly, he played a big part in their history, and now he's been around the block and he knows he's worked under all different owners, hasn't he, all different types, and like you said, he has his ups and downs, but generally he had a lot of affection for him. Yeah, so it's good.
More tributes coming in on the website, talksport.com, and there'll be more on Milan Mandaric and his sad passing on the Sunday edition with Faker Others and Henry Winter from 9 o'clock this morning. And coming up for you here at midday, we've got a proper derby as Ipswich Town take on Norwich.
We don't give our games ratings on talkSPORT, but what you are about to hear should come with a warning.
Results and form go out the window a little bit, right, and it becomes a little bit, obviously a unique game.
They're really excited by the game, and if anything, it's actually a chance for them to go and do something that hasn't been done in a long time.
This is always a big game, the first fans look for on the fixture list, but the stakes have rarely been higher.
You won't believe it, it's a fierce derby.
And the police and stewards are having to dive in to keep members of the coaching staff from both teams apart.
When it comes to East Anglian derbies, they have had a dominant hold over Ipswich in recent times.
When you look at their recent history and being in the Premier League, what they've spent, there'll be pressure on them, right?
Got nothing to lose. If anything, the record to lose is on the other side.
This is absolutely incredible! I don't believe my eyes! Ipswich have won 3-2!
We should relish it, we should look forward to it, we should be ready to step up and give absolutely everything.
Huge game today, Tony Cascarino. It's live on talkSPORT 2, the Old Farm Derby, the Tractor Derby. According to Alan Brazil, he says it's a fierce one. Looking forward to this. Norwich taking on Ipswich Town. Ipswich the host today, and it's live on talkSPORT 2. Looking ahead to this game with his former Norwich and Spurs striker Paul McVeigh. Good morning, Paul.
Hi, Paul.
Good morning. How you doing?
Yeah, we're good. Paul, we'll take it from a Norwich perspective. A bit of a strange season because they started okay and then of late not got as many victories as they like. Josh Chardon, who I really like, who I felt he's going to have a great season this year, came out straight out, 5 goals in the first 5 games, hasn't scored in the last 3 or 4. How has the start been from Norwich and from your eyes?
Yeah, I think both of you look at Norwich and Ipswich in this. I think both teams would be disappointed because, you know, Norwich are always wanting to be up at the top of the Championship, trying to get into the Premier League. And of course, what Ipswich did in the last couple of seasons will really gripe at them to let their closest rivals get up into the Premier League while Norwich haven't been there for a couple of seasons. So I think it's all the pressure is on both teams here because you've got Norwich who have got a good squad, I'd say a decent squad, but probably aren't favourites to go up, whereas Ipswich absolutely coming down from the Premier League, they would have the players that you think should be up there pushing for promotion again.
Yeah, and Paul, you'll remember when Mick McCarthy was at Norwich and Ipswich were drawing and all the relationship with the fans having a go. You know, this is a derby because it just has the toxicity that in a match so often, doesn't it?
Well, it's like any time you play in any rivalry between any two teams, it doesn't really matter. You look whether it's Crystal Palace, Brighton, whether it's Celtic, Rangers, it doesn't really matter what the rivalry is, whether it's to do with, I played with Sol Campbell at Tottenham Hotspur before he joined Arsenal, so whether it's the proximity or whether it's just because they're your closest rivals. Every time you go into this game, there is so much tension, so much hype before it, so much pressure on both teams to perform. And of course, the fallout for the supporters afterward, lasts for weeks and months. So it's equally as much pressure in this game as it would be in any other derby, whether it's Liverpool, Everton, Spurs, or whoever it is.
Paul, you're a psychologist. Now, would you say there's any difference the mental state of a derby? Because you can. I remember playing in Celtic Rangers and some of the players are hyped up they got for that particular game.
Yeah, and I think that's always down to the players and probably down to the coaching staff as well. How much do they try and get players pumped up for this? Because they know it's a special game in the season, especially for their own fans. Actually, Casca, it probably doesn't help the players to try and hype it up even more, because when you do that, generally you're not as calm, you're not as composed. You don't have that ability to, especially as you were and like I was when you're going through on goal, you can't be excited. You have to be, have that kind of real cool, calm, collected state going and trying to be at your best. And I don't think when you're overhyped, no matter what the game, whether it's Champions League final, local derby, there's no point going in overhyped, because I think the game itself will give you that appetite for wanting to play at that level.
And that's the thing, Paul, it's hard to get it right, because that fine line between hype for the game and almost a bit over pumped for it, and then it's even more so then, as you say, for a derby. Like we say, you're a footballer turned psychologist. You work with different clubs and different players. You've got a new book coming out just now, The Psychology of Leadership. Tell us about that, please, Paul.
Yeah, well, that's been fascinating. I suppose it's a real journey, to use that cliche phrase, but I haven't had nearly 20 years of the playing side, because I love the mindset psychology piece when I was playing, and when I went into work as the performance psychologist with a number of Premier League clubs, I just still thought it was still probably the least valued aspect in professional football today. And of course, in my opinion, it's probably the biggest differential in people. You just to walk into a Premier League dressing room, you already have to be technically brilliant, physically supreme. But then the question is, how do you differentiate between all of those top players? And you ask any player, any coach, it always comes down to their mindset or psychology. And unfortunately, in my opinion, that's probably the last thing that players work on, or at least consciously work on. So trying to write this book, The Psychology of Leadership, in the dealings with it, I've interviewed lots of people, not just from football. Yeah, we're very fortunate. Interviewed people like Emmanuel Petit, who won the World Cup with France, and obviously a legend at Arsenal. But I've interviewed people like a US Navy SEAL from SEAL Team 6, which is the best of the best in the US military. Interviewed people like Alex Cruz, former CEO of British Airways, and they all came out with the same themes with every single question that I asked them, that it's never about them, it's always about the people they're leading. So that was really fascinating, because then that brought it back to football and how do managers allow players to go out and perform at their best. And actually, I've never really seen that. It's very much, do it the way I want you to do it, stay within my system. And if you go outside of that, something like a Pep Guardiola, and you go, okay, well, it doesn't work for us, so you have to go and find another club the way you'd have Abramovich.
Well, it's fascinating. I mean, the mindset of football, I'm fascinated by it. This book is called The Psychology of Leadership. Thank you so much, Paul, for being with us. Give us a quick prediction, before you go.
Oh, it's absolutely have to be Norwich win. Easy Norwich.
That's psychology. You have to go that way.
Paul McVeigh, pleasure to talk to you. Thank you so much for your time today.
Cheers, Paul.
Thank you.
Former Norwich Paul McVeigh, now psychologist.
But just briefly, the Ryder Cup is exactly what Paul is talking about.
Yes.
The psychology of the European team in the foursomes and the fourballs. Okay?
Yep.
That was what it was all about.
Cass, the mind is the strongest muscle in the body. If it's out of shape, you're out of shape. Oh my God, that was candid for a Sunday morning. We have to go. Cass, I'll see you next week.
See you next week.
Coming up next for you, it's the Sunday edition with Faker Others and Henry Winter.